We steamed Rashee Rice up to the second round, and now he might be facing a suspension this year. Pretty likely, I think, facing a suspension this year. What are we doing with Rashee Rice? Where are we moving him in drafts? What are we doing with Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown, Jalen Royals? I don't know. What are we doing with the Chiefs? I've got Rich Hribar here to discuss momentarily. Looking forward to that discussion and a lot of other NFL news to go over. Then we're going to get into some DraftKings drafts. I'll be doing a draft with Rich Hribar, followed by a draft with Kyle Dvorchak in an hour. Looking forward to these. Please hit the like button if you have not already done so. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you can hit that notification bell to get alerts when the shows go live. This show is sponsored by DraftKings. I'm about to run a DraftKings ad to tell you about a great promo that they have going on right now. So make sure you check that out. There's a link in the description as well. I'm going to run that, and then in a minute, I will be back here with Rich Hribar. Football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. And right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second shot to win big. It's easy. Just draft your team once, no weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically start each week. Across the whole season, every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown will count toward your quest for a share of $15 million. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app now to draft your $20 Best Ball lineup and get a second ticket to play free for a share of $15 million. That's two chances to win big without ever setting your lineup again. Draft one, get one. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Rich Hribar, you are back. You were just on this channel 2 weeks ago and graciously offered to come back for DraftKings Best Ball Week because you like drafting on DraftKings. Is that correct? Do you do a lot of drafting on DraftKings?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot more this year on DraftKings. I do like the full PPR, but I like FFPC too. So like it's fun to do this. And Nielsen, I went from not doing a show with you at all, and we're gonna do two in a matter of a couple weeks. So hopefully,
yeah, really fun.
Hopefully, it's just the beginning of a beautiful relationship here.
Oh, I'd love that. I mean, I've been enjoying your content for years now, and then finally, in within the span of 3 weeks, we're doing two shows together. This is a lot of fun. We also have a lot of news, and it's fun to think through this news. I wouldn't call it fun news. It's a lot of like injuries.
None of it's fun.
It's all bad news, but like it's still it has big implications for what we're doing. So it's interesting to talk about. Let's start with the Rashee Rice news. What are you doing with this? Because we don't even know how long he's going to be suspended. Do you have any like inclination? Is this a 2-game suspension, 4 games, 6 games? What do you have a guess, or is it still just we kind of have to wait and see?
I'm waiting and seeing. I did see one of the Chiefs beat reporters, the handle eludes me right now on the spot, say that the vibes within the organization that it was going to be 2 to 4 games. So they were expecting 2 to 4 games. Yeah. So, I did initial projections and I docked them 3 games. I split that in the middle and then I'll just adjust anyways. I just wanted to kind of see a baseline, like if it was 3 games, what would it look like, if we remove those 3 games? What would it do for Xavier Worthy? What would it do for Hollywood Brown? Those types of things. And where would it slot, Rashee Rice paired with replacement value, right? Because, I'm going to date myself here, but it's been a while since we've had a receiver suspended, established receiver suspended to open the year. And we're assuming that's what's going to happen here. And we'll probably get this with Jordan Addison too. But, gamers historically have been pretty horrible at factoring in, early season suspensions and replacement, because they're bad at they're like thinking about replacement value, right?
Sure.
And that's probably more of a conversation for like managed leagues over than what we're going to do from a best ball draft. But, when you look at like the replacement, because Rashee Rice will not be scoring points, let's say for 3 to 4 weeks, but it doesn't mean your roster is scoring 0 points for 3 to 4 weeks. And, that's what like a lot of gamers have historically gotten wrong. I wrote about this actually all the way back in 2018 about Julian Edelman, when Julian Edelman got his PEDs, Julian Edelman got suspended for PEDs, Chris Hogan got steamed. Edelman fell to the wide receiver 30. and was then, when he came back, he was the wide receiver 12 in PPR points per game. And if you factored in just baseline replacement value, just the floor minimum replacement value, you basically got the wide receiver 5 at wide receiver 30 pricing. So like just looking at replacement value in Rashee Rice with a 3-game suspension, it comes out for my projections, and his projections are lighter than what he's averaged. Look at his last 9 games, he's averaged 19.5 PPR points per game. My projections have him around a little bit the 16-point PPR points per game, because we have Xavier Worthy year 2, a lot of fluidity. He's coming back from an injury, not going to give him like that full run out, but paired with a 3-game suspension and replacement value, it's essentially you're getting the wide receiver 15, right, in my projections. So I had a hard time like moving him down like past like that really kind of like catawampus wide receiver 2 zone, where it's like guys that come with warts anyways, like the Terry McLaurins, the DJ Moores of the world, those types of guys. So I don't think he should fall behind that. I think I settled in, and I still met player 39 overall, which is like basically like late third. I think we'll probably see him be like late third, late 4th round. And I think that should be fair value. I believe though, he's going to, in managed leagues, fall further than that, which because people think that about the like, oh, he's not playing, he's out of my lineup scenario. So I think people will overvalue. Historically, they've done it. Mark Ingram was also suspended that year and got docked, and he ended up being a value too. We just haven't seen a lot of stars be suspended at the start of the year. I have some other data too, going back. Like Steve Smith was in 2008, again, dating myself here, was suspended the opening 2 games that year. He fell to wide receiver 14 in ADP, was the wide receiver 4 the rest of the season, came back. So most people see, like, they think about it like I'm getting a 0 from this player, but you're not getting a 0 in your lineup. They don't know how to factor in that replacement value.
Especially when it is early in the season. I guess that is the other concern, though, is like, what if this happens at the end of the season? Correct. Is there any precedent for that, though? Like, because obviously that would be a bigger thing.
It was Zeke. Zeke. Remember, Zeke got the suspension. Well, we knew he was going to be suspended, but no one knew, right? Like, no one knew the dates. And then he started the year and then got suspended and didn't finish the year. I think this will be different because the NFL doesn't do anything until the legal system does stuff. This is tried and true. Like, this is the bullshit we deal with all the time, right? So like now
Zeke appeal. Do you think is that why? Like, if Rashee Rice does not appeal, do you think that would be earlier? But then if he appeals, maybe they push it back. Could that be the?
I mean, you'd have to ask like Drew or someone in the know, like for me. But like, I would assume that because he skipped the trial, like that there was some kind of plea. I think Drew tweeted about this. I saw someone else tweet about this too. The reason there was no trial, and this kind of was a surprise to everyone, was that he basically reached an agreement. So like they just voided trial. So the penalty had to have been agreed upon probably from his camp too as well. So I would assume that now that the legal penalty has been kind of put down, that the league will now issue their penalty as well.
Yeah, and that was
same thing with Jordan Addison. We'll see about the other things. I don't really even want to talk about the Browns guys.
Yeah, and it's almost certainly would be at the beginning of the season. Then, like, they're not going to be like, you are suspended for the end of the season. That would be like Huam says, if they appealed and then it was lifted, but because like he's probably not going to appeal when he's made a legal agreement to this. So we probably don't have to worry that much about a late season suspension. It probably is early season, in which case, as you're saying, like, we're going to have him for the fantasy playoffs. We're going to have him for the majority of the season. We're going to have other players replacing him earlier. So maybe not a complete death sentence for Rashee Rice teams. Like, they can still do well when
aren't you a lawyer? Like, this is the part where I tell you I'm not a lawyer and you're supposed to say I am, and you tell me.
I mean, I'm not actually a lawyer anymore either. I was a lawyer working at Thomson Reuters for a while, so not even working like as an attorney exactly. You did it just an attorney to do my job.
Football league,
but it was
football league. You were telling me about scoring those touchdowns. You just did it for that.
Oh yeah. I forgot I told you that story. Yeah, I did it just to get into that. I mean, we just dunked on some undergrads in that league. That was fun. No. So I'm technically I have the law degree and stuff. I've let my attorney license lapse at this point. I cannot give legal advice. No, I don't know how this is going to work here. But I suspect we're probably not too worried about the end game, the end of the season suspension for Rashee Rice at this point. Just logically, it wouldn't make sense for him to appeal the suspension when he's already accepted the
bottom line is we're going to see his price moving forward be reflected with an expected suspension.
Yep. And I think so you're putting him where you value him is early fourth round. Pick 39 would be right. Early fourth round. And I think that's kind of where I've said I expect him to fall also. So that's sort of my anticipation is that it's the fourth round. And then it could fall, but I do think that like he might fall past where you have him ranked because like you said, people just don't really know how to value players in these situations. That people are probably going to overvalue
And to
the
be fair,
suspension.
I mean, he is still a player coming off of an injury. We don't have like a full season sample of him like crushing. We have two small samples each season
Yep.
of
There's
him being
already a
off.
lot of
So
risk.
there is some other variables in here too. So I do understand if he does fall a little bit further than that. But I think that I have a hard time moving him below the guys that I'm already starting to tear down anyways. Like I've already been tearing down Terry McLaurin. I've already been tearing down DJ Moore. So like I have a hard time like saying like, all right, I'm gonna throw him past all those guys.
Yeah. It's funny because like I hate clicking those names. I mean, unless I can get Terry McLaurin with Jaden Daniels, I always like I don't really want to click Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore. But then at the next turn, I like George Pickens. I feel really good clicking George Pickens. So it's like this weird thing where it's like I don't know. I guess I'll put him somewhere in the middle there. Maybe let's put him ahead of DJ Moore, that kind of thing. It'll be an interesting game where I'll probably play, based on how other people play
The
it.
cool thing is that we'll move pockets now, like because
Yeah,
typically when you're in these pockets of drafts, you do way more of these than I do. If say like you're picking in slot 6 through 9, you know kind of what pocket of players are always going to be there in the third round. Now it's going to adjust, like
yeah.
that's going to
Oh
change,
yeah,
and
that
that's
is
what's
true.
you
And
know.
it's gonna adjust the early rounds. Like now do we move up Tyreek Hill? Do we move up T Higgins because there are fewer receivers in that range that you're going to take? Yeah, it's kind of a
And the
fascinating thing
tight
for
ends
me.
will probably get the bump of this because they started the dip, and now that the
You're right.
Bowers and McBride will probably come back too because they were in that
Yep.
same kind of strike zone.
Yep. Absolutely. That could be the case. All right. I'm going to hop us into a draft, but what else? So you don't even want to talk about the Browns. What are we have a
Oh,
Jordan Addison. What are we looking at? 3 games. What other news
Jordan
do we have?
Addison, yeah, was always I think expected to be 2 to 3. I had him always projected for 2 to start. And then the Brown stuff we just don't know about. I don't even feel like it's worth talking about because like without sounding like a dickhead about it. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's like no way to like kind of because like the truth is it probably makes Quinshon Judkins value, but there's no way to like talk about that like in a proper light without just being like an asshole about it.
Yeah,
Like
but he is an ass. He's we
exactly.
don't like him as a person, but he's a value. No.
Like so like it's and that's the thing like and that's the dumb part about fantasy football, right? Is like you have to kind of remove like your humanity for an element of that,
Yeah,
and that's always tough and it sucks to do.
it
uh
does.
and that
Yeah.
goes further. Like we've been doing it, we did it for Tyreek Hill forever, right? Like Joe
Oh yeah.
Mixon, and even guys go back to Larry Fitzgerald, right? Like even guys like that were like thought of as like great dudes. Like we don't know
Yeah.
any of these guys, man.
No, yeah, we don't. Yeah, no, that is. I usually just leave out all the like the reasoning behind it, just like, well, Quinshon Judkins might be facing suspension, and don't talk about that because it's like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, we're playing a fantasy game. Yes, they are real people, and like we have to like think about the real world outcomes. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm not. I don't play it like I'm not going to draft this guy because he's done something horrible. Typically, it's just about like the value in the fantasy game. Like the asset that I'm drafting is a fantasy player in my mind is how I
Yeah.
justify it to
And there's no
myself.
way to say that without like,
Yeah,
without
yeah,
people, you're gonna get white knighted.
yeah. Very, very true. Um, we get the 12th pick here. So this is
Oh, cool.
yeah. I think I like having that. I've gone back and forth. I've had this conversation many times. How do you feel about the 12 spot here?
I like in the full PPR, I do like the turn a lot more. I think it's exponentially better than it was last year where we were drafting guys like Chris Olave and
Oh
Marvin
yeah,
Harrison Jr. I do like it here because it gives you a chance to kind of to split things a lot. Like sometimes you get like you can do double running back one, wide receiver one. I do like that a lot. You can double up at wide receiver because it's full PPR. I think you just have a lot of flexibility here based on how early it goes. I did one last night with Ray on our stream, and we got Malik Neighbors in the second round at the turn. So like you see some just different creative builds down
wow.
here.
That is really fun to get Malik Neighbors in the second round. Who did you pair him with?
Achan.
Okay, Neighbors and Achan. I'm curious. That's probably not actually that rare. I was thinking because you can look up the different combos on
Probably because
DraftKings.
Achan was going around
Yeah,
that
because
turn
he was.
too.
Yeah, that's true.
It
Yeah,
was one of those where we wanted to push Achan, and then it was just buy Neighbors because he's lower than ADP.
right. Yeah, I mean it's still a really strong pair, and just like sometimes you can if I get a follow like Neighbors, then sometimes I'll like change what I want to do because I want the more unique combo. So it's like I was gonna go 8 here, but I guess I'll go with CMC instead because that'll be a more unique combo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your
Um,
gift of doing 3,000 of these.
that is true. I can just I can play that game instead of just going for the guys that I want. Very true.
But I also like doing on stream. I do like when we get picks on turns because I tend to talk a lot through picks, and we get to just make picks, and then we get to chat about stuff.
Yeah, no, that is true. We have a lot more time in between our picks, which is really nice for stream drafts in particular. I also do. I like these the 30-second timer that we have here on DraftKings. Much nicer for stream drafts, giving us a little bit more time to talk through our picks and talk through different players. Are you doing anything with Jordan Addison? I feel like I had already kind of assumed like a 3-game suspension for Jordan Addison, so I'm not really doing.
Yeah, no, I had already had it priced in. He's already a player too. I was a little bit concerned about, not so much in this format, but we really haven't seen him play like a full season with TJ Hawkinson available. I think the Vikings have signaled. You're a Minnesota fan, right?
I am.
Yeah, and I think the Vikings have signaled that they want to insulate JJ McCarthy, but I think they're going to at least attempt to run the football more than they have in previous Kevin O'Connell years. Sure. When you look at all the signals that they made, all the moves that they made. So I think when you take a player that's been very touchdown dependent like Jordan Addison, you look at this just he averages 17 points per game with touchdown, and it goes on like 6 points per game without. And you start to remove that volume, like with a rookie quarterback, like could we potentially just looking at like a really up and down player?
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I'm expecting is like just we're not going to see any consistency with Jordan Addison, which is like I do think that he fits the like better and best ball prototype of like I'm never going to feel comfortable having him in my lineup for season long, but like because in best ball he's going to have those spike weeks, I think so. I still don't hate him.
Yeah, I think the more or less the problem has been coming just like where he is the ADP, versus where kind of I have him as where I would like to take him.
Sure.
I just don't get a lot of him because I just think there's a lot of players like that that fit that archetype.
Yeah,
that are just not as expensive as him.
Yep.
But if Justin Jefferson were to miss any time, that's the other thing that you also have to factor in a little bit is that he does have pretty immense contingency value tied to Justin Jefferson.
All right, who do you like here? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Derrick Henry, Brian Thomas Jr., Devin Achane, Drake London. I know you love, particularly on DraftKings.
Any of those, I love Nico here, especially getting Nick Caley. I think that there's a shot he could be the wide receiver 1 overall. Remember, we've had 8 different wide receiver 1s in a row, and not like different players in terms of like a different guy. Like it's been 8 different guys. Like no one's doubled up.
Nico, Drake London. Do you think?
I'd be cool with London, Achane, either guy you want.
Okay. Let's go because we did the whole conversation.
Heavy?
I do like doing wide receiver heavy. I kind of like some of the running backs that can come on.
And I like you putting my feet to the fire because I've already said that I believe London outscores Amon-Ra.
Yeah, you did the whole take the last time you were on here. You were I was like not that excited about Drake London, and then we had that whole conversation. Now I'm like, oh, I got to get London. Like you convinced me that I'm that I really need to get in on Drake London.
Falcons in general,
particularly
Falcons.
Except including Kyle Pitts. I forget if we had that.
Yeah, well, I'm still hesitant on Kyle Pitts, but
I
do like that. Falcons passing game is good. They're gonna be winging it.
Yeah. Good to see you all here, by the way. Good morning, Billy. Good to see somebody wearing flannel, even if I am not. Good to see. What up, TJ? Have not done a show with TJ in a while. Good to see you, Who Hames, Bindles. TJ. Yeah, he's a good guy. When I do Roto-Grinder shows, I'm often get to talk with TJ a little bit, but we have not done them, and I have not done them. I retired from MLB TFS content, at least for this season, so I have not seen TJ in a minute. All right, pick number 2 is where Jeff is. All right. Anyway, I did want to talk about so one player that I have sometimes targeted, and I'm willing to move him up all the way to our next pick. We're picking at 36. And I like having this conversation with guests. So Omarion Hampton is a player that I think I'm higher on than most, just because I think Chargers want to run the ball. Great offensive line. They went out and drafted him in the first round. Talented running back. I think that there is some hesitation with a lot of people on DraftKings about his lack of involvement. Greg Roman offense is not passing to the running back as much as other offenses. So a lot of people not as high on Omarion Hampton. But to me, the Najee Harris kind of unknown situation, speaking of like trying to remove real life from the conversation, but like we don't really know what to expect from Najee Harris, probably starting on the non-football injury list. So I kind of think Omarion Hampton has a little bit of a runway here to kind of prove himself and take a hold of the lion's share of the job. So I'm sometimes willing to take Omarion Hampton as high as 36, but am I crazy to do that? Or how do you feel about Omarion Hampton? Where are you ranking him?
No, I think that that's fair. He's in that kind of strike zone of guys. I think you can make bull cases for, the Breece Halls of the world, the Kenneth Walkers, right? Like, I think that's where he belongs, and he has upside for a little bit more. If we knew Najee Harris wasn't playing at all, I mean, how close would he be to Jainty? I mean, almost everything from his infrastructure is better, right? It's a better offensive line. They're going to score more. They're projected to score more points, right?
Yep.
So it's like, man, how close would he actually be? And it's still just as run heavy as a scheme as Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll. Like you, I think that the signal is the Chargers want to run the football more. Remember how the Chargers season ended last year? I mean, Justin Herbert throws 4 picks. Their running backs rush for 2.5 yards per carry. Do you really think Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman looked each other's in the eyes after that loss and was like, yeah, that's the kind of football we want to play? There's a reason they threw the bag at Mekhi Becton. They initially signed Najee Harris, and then they used a first-round pick on a running back. I do believe that they inherently want to run the football a lot more than they did last year when they did struggle. Because their pass rate expectation stuff went up midway through the season, but it's because they couldn't run the ball at all. I mean, even Dobbins struggled. So I'm okay with the bull case. He's also a guy that can catch the ball too. Like it's not like he's devoid of throwing the ball. Always, when you get the coordinator stuff, I think it's questionable to you have to always factor in personnel with that stuff. Like Lamar Jackson's never really thrown to running back slot. Colin Kaepernick definitely throw to running back slot. So I know we're on the clock here, so
we're about to be on the clock. Devontae Adams made it almost all the way back to us, not quite. Often I would like to take Breece Hall here, but somebody flipped the board and took him at 25. So this is sort of a different group. Okay, Rashee Rice. We could do like Terry McLaurin.
We also had a Jared Goff weird pick in there too, right?
Oh, I didn't notice that. I did not notice that.
Goff, I think, went second overall, right?
Okay. Well, we need to make our pick. Do you like? So we could do Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels, or we could do like Kyron Williams with our first pick. JSN. What do you like here?
I like getting Kittle at this spot a lot.
Oh, Kittle. All right. Yeah, it's actually not that far ahead of ADP for Kittle. There we go. And then do you like?
Well, he's just a clear firewall guy,
Kyron, JSN, Mike Evans. How do you feel about this? McLaurin. We could even do him without Jaden, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we could do Rashee Rice. I'm fine with Kyron though here too.
Well, Rashee Rice went in the pick before us.
Oh, did he? Kyron doesn't Kyron have natural stack appeal here? I can't remember whether.
With London. Yeah, we've got the game stack.
Yeah,
sure, that works.
And it's a correlated game stack, obviously.
Yep. So we got Nico Collins, Drake London, George Kittle, and Kyron Williams through 4 rounds. Looking good here. He went Jared Goff and then Dak Prescott.
Oh, cool. Sabotage.
Yeah, this is this draft could get thrown out. We'll see the way the rest of it went. Bucky Irving in the 3rd round, so I don't know what to make of that. That's an interesting start for the number 2 spot. I totally missed that. Yeah, somebody had said Jared Goff number 2. I think TJ said that, and I did not realize what he was talking about. I was noticing. It's funny because I was noticing the number 1 hole kind of flip the board. Goes Jamar Chase, brings up Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, probably just as a way. Probably thinking like I'd like to do a full on jet stack and getting a little bit unique with that jet stack because you're not going to get Garrett Wilson with Breece Hall all that often. So I kind of like what they're doing there, especially not with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, this is the first one. Was our first draft with Rice, so we see where he goes. 35.
Wait, sorry, who's that?
Rice went 35.
Yeah, Rice went 35. Yeah.
Yeah, but Kittle, Ollie's on that wrap too, because he's, like I said, the firewall guy. Like I like in best ball more or less having one of the anchor tight ends, but in managed long leagues, I'll see myself changing off of that. But it's just so flat after those top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like the picks we made here. George Kittle, like we're not that far ahead of ADP. The only downside to taking Kittle here is a month ago you could have gotten him on the other side of the board, like in the 5th round sometimes, George Kittle. So we're losing out to some of those early teams, but that's not really something that I factor in all that much. I'm not that concerned that other people get him around earlier a month ago. Just taking the best available here. Xavier Worthy goes all the way at 46.
I guess we would have forced the 217 stacks, but we could have, if we would have did Hampton Kyron, we would have had the double.
Oh, that's true. We could have done that. Oh well. I mean, I'm happy with what we did anyway. Who Hames, we are DK exclusive for this week, at the very least, and then I'll mix it up going forward. But this week we're just doing all DraftKings stuff, and really happy to do it. I do love drafting on DraftKings.
How many Best Ball Mania teams have you drafted already?
Not that many, like under
Okay.
20. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Actually not a ton. I like to save a lot of similar to my DK millies. I save most of my bullets for August. Like I prefer drafting later on in these contests. They're going to be open the entire summer. So I'm doing a lot more like time boxed stuff right
Okay.
now everywhere. Yeah. Um Mike Williams. So Mike Williams retiring doesn't really do that much for me because I kind of was not factoring him into the Chargers plans already. Does it do anything for you? Like, are you bumping up Trey Harris or anything?
No, I had Mike Williams rejected for a 3% target share, so
Yeah,
it really didn't change a lot. I've been under the assumption though that the Trey Harris stuff is that Trey Harris is initially going to slide into kind of Josh Palmer's role, and we'll see where that goes during the season. But I do think people are underestimating that Quentin Johnson was a round one player that got better in year two.
yeah,
He's not going to disappear. He's still just the guy that's not going to go away. He led the team in end zone targets. And then we'll see too. There still has been that's been the one rumor. Like, well, I don't know if the Chargers have had the rumor, but Keenan Allen keeps saying he wants to go back there. I don't know if they want him back there,
yeah,
but he keeps saying he would like to go back there.
yeah. I would. What would be your interest in Keenan Allen if he does go back to the Chargers? Like,
Basically none.
oh, you'd still not have any. I'm like, I would almost like he's going around pick 180 right now, which to me is like,
I think
I
we had
wouldn't
this
hate
conversation last time I was on.
Oh,
Like,
maybe we did.
where could Keenan Allen land where we'd be like excited?
Oh, we did. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Ladd still just does the dual role, like, so
Yeah. He wouldn't be the alpha there, but like,
no, yeah.
Do you think like his history gives him any kind of like, he's got a relationship with Justin
Yeah.
Herbert.
Oh,
The team
yeah.
loves him, the fans
It's
love
got to
him.
be non-zero.
Yeah, he would not be. He would not be. I think he would have some role.
But I just
in
think
there.
that this team, that's a team that I think that we're aggressively thinking is going to throw more, like we kind of led into with we started talking about Hampton, because it's reflected in Ladd's ADP, right? We talked about this last time. Like, I have a hard time telling myself the story that Ladd's going to get 150 targets.
Yeah, right.
And he goes in the second round, like firmly, like he doesn't even budge, like he's a mid-second round pick.
All right. Kenneth Walker goes. We have George Pickens, Jalen Waddle.
I know you like
Ridley,
Pickens.
I like a lot of these picks here. RJ Harvey.
I love all these. I'm in
who are your
on most of these guys. I would lean towards the receivers, Pickens, Waddle. I don't mind taking Harvey either, though, at this spot. If you want to just add another running back, I'm fine with that. A guy that can catch passes, but
I mean, if you lean receiver, I'm happy to do that here, and we can
just more because the format. Like, we know we want to be a little wide receiver heavy, and we took a tight end.
Yep. No, I'm pretty happy with this start. Kyren Williams, Nico Collins, Drake London, George Pickens, George Kittle, and Jalen Waddle. I feel very strong about. Pretty strong start.
Yeah, these full PPR formats, like I said, that back third is generally just where I'm more comfortable, because it's the second round, right? The second round this year, you feel good when you pick in the front half of drafts, so who you're picking first, but you always hit like that wall. Like, once AJ Brown comes off the board, you feel like you're forcing the next player almost always.
Yep.
And this one got thrown a little bit because of the weird number 2 drafter with some ADP, but
he goes Joe Burrow, which is like in itself a fine pick at 47, except it's his third quarterback.
Is that an auto draft or no?
No. Well, yeah, they don't have the plane on, so I'm guessing not, or whatever the green little circle is indicating it's an auto drafter.
So they're just here for the chaos, man. Just watching the world burn.
Yeah, you never know. It's like, because quarterbacks score the most points, but like even if it's like they're sorted by projections and liking quarterbacks better,
maybe
these are not the quarterbacks you'd be taking.
No, they wouldn't be.
Yeah, like you'd still be taking.
It would be Josh
Allen, Lamar Jackson with those picks instead of Jared Goff and Dak Prescott. So I don't know what to make of what they're trying to do there. But yeah, Billy says number 2 spot, just a natural feature of the DraftKings landscape. I feel like this is to a level where it might get thrown out. We'll see.
Let's see what they do here. Let's see. It's kind of like pins. Now I'm disinterested in this number.
I know this is just fascinating. What are they thinking here? I'm guessing a quarterback. Oh, they didn't. Okay, David Montgomery.
All right,
it's a good pick at 71.
That's why I asked about the auto, but it wouldn't be the quarterbacks you'd be taking. That's
right. You go by ADP probably, or whatever rankings you use. Like if they thought it was super flex, but yeah, like I said, these are still not the quarterbacks you'd be taking. So, yeah, that's it's interesting. Okay, so they started with the Breece Hall at the 1 hole. Breece Hall,
so full jet stack here.
Yeah, probably could have gotten Fields at 96, but I don't blame them for wanting to reach and make sure you get it, because it's not a range.
I found on DraftKings too, especially this draft, because we have a weird
Oh yeah,
QB
with all
drafter.
these quarterbacks gone, that's a good point.
But I found on DraftKings, like once that you hit the Bo Nix zone, like you better just get your guy because like they're just gonna come off in a wave. Like it's always a tidal wave of pink. It's
Yeah.
like
Yep.
you'll be like, oh, I can push my stack around, and then it never happens.
Which, you know, we might need to think about that, like at 84. But I don't know that I really want to reach for Dak here
He's
or Brock
gone.
Purdy.
Listen, number two.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Interesting. Yeah, I forgot about that already.
No, but we have later guy. We have Stroud. We have
do.
Penix. We have Tua. We've got options here.
Yeah, we do have plenty of options for now. I do think like we probably need to, like, when we're thinking about where you can usually get quarterbacks, like dock 12 picks from it or something, or 24 picks. Like they're gonna go earlier than we want them to. All right, Jawan Jennings goes at 80. We could think about doing Purdy at 84.
Oh, I forgot we have Purdy too as an option.
Yeah, just like that.
We could double like Purdy Pearsall.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. I was not going to say it out loud though.
Oh yeah, aren't there people in here? My bad.
Yeah. Oh, there always are on these streams. I always like withhold what I'm thinking fully until
bad.
Pick. Whereas like if somebody goes, no, I mean it's whatever. I'm not that worried about it. Because we have plenty of options here. Actually, I like some of these running back options. We could always go Diggs and potentially get May at the next turn.
Yeah, we're definitely building in a lot of backdoor options here, a lot of backdoor stacks.
Do you want to go, I mean, Purdy and Pearsall? Or Diggs and wait for a back stack and just like Diggs and Pollard or something?
I think Diggs is an outright better pick than Pearsall.
We could just do that and just not worry about getting Purdy. And if he falls,
we don't have to force Purdy. We could do that. We also have like, we could also wait and try to do like a Mooney double too if we wanted.
Oh, that's
Which
true.
running backs did you like? Did you like any of these backs?
I like Pollard. Yeah, Pollard is usually my pick around here.
Because we're probably at a little bit of a firewall there at running back as well.
True. What do you think? Did you like Pollard or Mooney better?
Pollard.
All right. Yeah, and he's our second. We do have a lot of wide receivers already. I think that's a strong turn. So now we are up to 0-2-5-1. Probably need to take a look at whether there's some good quarterback options at the next turn. I think if Drake May comes to us at 108, that would be
I feel pretty good about our options, even if we have to double, if we have to, because we got May, Stroud, Penix, Tua.
Yeah. So the one downside about being on the turn here though is like, we can't just like take him a little bit ahead of ADP. We have to because normally I'd be like, oh, you can usually get CJ Stroud at 132. Like that's pretty safe. I'm not sure if that's going to be safe in this draft, but I suppose if we wait for it,
definitely won't be.
Then we can go for Tua at 132, which may be safe. And if they're both gone, then we just say to hell with it and reach for Penix and I don't know, Stafford or.
I'm at least glad we talked through it. I think we needed to add a running back at that one of those spots, so I'm at least glad we thought about it.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been fun to take Purdy, Pearsall, and just keep doing the 49ers thing.
Yeah. It's still probably better picks the way we played it.
And Diggs is someone I think is going to rise. I've been trying to get a little bit of Diggs anyways, but the drumbeat is going to be that he's going to be playing week 1.
Yeah.
Which is pretty significant. And you're getting a player that still was effective before the injury last year at pretty fringe wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 cost.
Yeah, absolutely. I see we got a couple people we know here. Billy here in the 4 hole. We got Wesley West in the 11 hole. Nice. I'm not sure anybody else in here. I feel like, again, I don't know all of the usernames. So let me know if you are drafting with us, especially if you are the number 2 hole. Let us know what you are thinking with this draft. What's your plan here?
I actually do. You should be doing the show with that person.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation for sure.
Yeah, 2 pocket passers right off rip.
Yeah. And not even like the best pocket, like didn't even go like Joe Burrow right away. It was like, we go to Jared Goff. That's my guy. Pretty funny.
Yeah, just keep an eye on here. Yeah, so it's Kyler. Yeah, so we're moving here.
All the recent picks for this draft are pretty normal. Like none of those are
weird. They are all kind of right at cost. It was just a weird start.
Yeah.
Well, at least that probably makes it. It won't get thrown out. I'm assuming
that seems likely that it's not going to, unless there's other stuff going on. Like if they are, doing all of their drafts with like one of these other drafters here, and it's like, okay, they're clearly colluding together, then maybe, but like just based on the picks alone, probably not enough to get thrown out, given how much they turned it around. Darnell Mooney goes at pick 100. A little bit of a fall there. I guess not that far from his ADP. All right, but you're pretty high on Mooney, right?
I just am on the Falcons. I laid out like their schedule, their pro case. I think they're going to be pressed to throw a lot. I think they're going to have a lot of dropbacks. It's what makes Penix kind of appealing. It makes it like, I think London has real like probability to lead the league in targets. And then obviously Mooney gets a piece of that. And then contingency, if anything happens to London, he's vaulted up. And a good player. He was a good player on his opportunities last year. I got to say that before Kyle gets in here and tells me that Mooney was terrible.
Yeah, right. Good point. No, we got a little time. We're probably going to get this draft in before Kyle gets here, so he's not going to have any input. Kyle was he thinks he's going to get here at 4:15 because he's recording something right now that he says apparently Brock Purdy goes. Dang,
we almost pushed it. We almost
pushed it for Purdy. Are they stacked up at all? Yeah, they have McCaffrey. All right, it is our pick. So Drake May, I think, is probably the pick here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm good at Drake May. And it gives us a potential to maybe add a Hunter Henry or Kyle Williams later if we wanted.
Yep. And then outside of Drake May, I mean, we could reach for Stroud here or let it fall. Since we have Drake May, I think I'm more like okay with pushing the second quarterback.
Yeah, I like Michael Pittman here a lot. I would be fine with I don't know what the running backs look like. I don't even know if there's anybody worth.
J.K. Dobbins is there.
Yeah, pretty
Cam Scattaboo, Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, if we're already taking handcuff type guys, I like to just wait and take more upside upside's the wrong word, but more like a lot of people like think about it's like, all right, Charbonnet we saw him work a little bit with Kenneth Walker and he was the RB1, but still does he have any value while Kenneth Walker's playing? We still haven't seen that. So like what makes him different to reach within that tier versus like another player that is more of that like stricter handcuff, like a Ray Davis, right?
Right.
So like why should the ADP be that far away? So that's why I have a harder time with it when you're looking at it from like an archetypical stance. Whereas like Pittman is going to be on the field the entire time for the Colts, probably get 100 targets. We don't know if they're going to be good targets, but it's PPR league. I feel like a pretty safe buy at that point.
What are you doing with this latest news on Anthony Richardson? Like seemingly they say fully recovered, but like going to be limited, I think, in practice for a little bit. I had been kind of working under the assumption that it was going to be Daniel Jones at quarterback because of the injury. It's kind of like, all right, they're fighting for it, but now Anthony Richardson has this unknown injury. Now he comes back earlier than I thought he was going to. So what do you make of the situation there in Indianapolis? Is it just a stay away as far as drafting the quarterbacks goes?
I mean, on DraftKings, these 20-round leagues where I think 3 quarterbacks is good because you're just adding more points to your roster, but I've operated under assumption the whole time that both these guys are going to start multiple games.
Okay.
I expect both Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones to start multiple games. I don't know what order.
Oh, we had this conversation last time.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to get divvied up, but I don't think either guy is good enough to keep the other guy off the field for the full season.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. And then we have to like who's going to be started in the playoff games is what we're really going to care about.
Right. Whereas I think whereas you look at like Jackson Dart, like we have a pretty strong sense that like he might not start the year, but come fantasy playoffs, like those are his start. Like he's going to be starting the back half of the year at least minimum, or at least the back quarter of the year.
Yeah. No, I think so. So I kind of like Jackson Dart.
Guys.
Yeah, because it's like we don't know when they're going to be starting. Yeah, it's probably neither of them for 17 games. It could happen. One of them just like improves and
that's the hard part for me too with like Tyler Shuck and these two. And I know like there's a probability Shuck gets all 17 games, but what if he's just terrible?
Yeah, which is also a very good possibility there. Yeah.
I mean, they used like not terrible draft capital on Spencer Rattler, and Spencer Rattler was bad last year, but how much of a fair shake did he get given all the other injuries that roster had? What if he's practicing well, right? And like Kellen Moore's like, dude, we're 1-9. Like, why don't I just put this dude out there? Like, So, I mean, that still exists in the range of outcomes. Like, yes, I think more than 50%, I would say Shuck does start the whole season without injury, but I also think that it's not like 75% either.
Okay, so just a little bit more than 50%, maybe. That's interesting.
Because
Hollywood.
he could just be bad.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But like, would they be okay with him being bad to
I think
get a
to a
better draft pick?
degree. I think
Yeah,
there's a degree of it.
yeah. Hollywood Brown goes at pick 118 here, so we're kind of seeing the effects of the Rashee Rice potential suspension. Probably earlier than I would take Hollywood Brown, but no like real issue with it. We did see him, like, he came back and they force fed him the ball in the playoffs last year, or late in the season. I forget when it was exactly. What do you think of Hollywood here?
Yeah, I think just a marginal bump. I mean, he did have good target per route numbers, like even when he came back last year. The
Yeah.
problem is we just have one sample of Hollywood Brown being like a good fantasy player, and we're in what, year 7, so it's just
Oh
tougher
no.
to take
You
that
see
bet.
you see what just happened to us in this round? CJ Stroud, Tua, Michael Penix.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the avalanche.
Yeah. So we have run out of options for quarterback too. So we're just gonna have to take best available, hope for the
Pain.
best there. Yeah. I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean, look how far they're reaching for these quarterbacks. These are probably people listening to the stream, or maybe not listening. They could also just have noticed the same thing we noticed about, hey, looks like everybody's reaching for their quarterbacks. Better go get them. So that's a bummer, but I'm glad we got Drake May at 108. That feels like a good pick.
Oh
Right
yeah, I like that too because like I said, it gives us the Hunter Henry potential, and I love Hunter Henry as like a best ball reserve.
and we've already got Stephon Diggs too. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's been my experience too with DraftKings is they just tend to go in a row.
Yeah.
We do have options though, right?
Trevor Lawrence goes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we still have Stafford, who gives us
We do
like
have
not
Kyron.
really correlated stack, but like we do have Stafford, Bryce
Throw on a late
Young.
tight end there. Yeah. Bryce Young has plenty of later options.
I actually do like Bryce Young.
We could do that. Bryce Young, because like I said, plenty of options later with Bryce Young.
I wouldn't mind taking. Would you tap both or no?
We could tap both if you don't feel strongly about Trey Harris, Rashid Shaheed, Devontae, Mims.
I mean, I think you can make the case for like a Tootin or something if you want to take a shot on this team. But I also just outright like those quarterbacks more in a 3-quarterback build than some of the guesswork we have to do. But if you want to wait around and you think that like Cam Ward or Rodgers or Darnold is there, I'd be okay still too. But
No, let's just do it. Let's
I
go.
do like Stafford.
Stafford, the
We
other
can
one.
do
Yeah.
like a Tutu Atwell too at the back end here, or Jordan Whittington.
Tyler Higbee.
I talked about this too. Like, I'm actually pretty shocked that Jordan Whittington doesn't get drafted on these DraftKings drafts.
Yeah,
Because
he does not get drafted a ton.
Puka's been banged up 2 years in a row. Devontae's 32, and when the small sample we saw Whittington play, he was a huge target per out guy, and like so it's like, man, especially because in this format he seems like a DraftKings guy.
Yeah, Whittington taken, by the way, in 6.6% of DraftKings drafts through June 27th in this Millie Maker contest. So yeah, not drafted a ton, even in 20 rounds.
It seems shocking with the 20th round in the full PPR and just what we saw from his limited sample when he got the play.
Yeah. Oh, Billy, it was Billy who did us in. No, yeah, that is fair. You're right. We were going to take Tua if he was there. So yeah, probably.
Yeah. Or Stroud. It was going to be one of those 3.
If Stroud had come back, like I think that's the order I ranked them in. Stroud, Tua, and Penix. Is that the same for you, or do you mix up? Do you like Penix better than Tua?
I have Tua first, just because I'm a little bit more bullish on. I'm on an island that thinks that the Dolphins are actually going to bounce back a little bit here this year.
Okay. All right. So are you a Tyreek Hill guy?
Yeah, I am. More especially now that Jonnu's been moved too. I wrote this up like in length too about just kind of what happened to the Dolphins in terms of they just weren't able to push teams out of that shell coverage because they couldn't run. Their interior of their offensive line is just so much stronger. Also, Etienne had really good splits with and without Austin Jackson, who is going to be back. I do think the run game is going to be better. So I think it's going to open some things up. And Tyreek too, we opened the show a little bit. Like, you don't want to give a guy who's been kind of a dirt bag like his whole life, like a benefit of the doubt, but
right.
Mentally, like, he went through a lot of shit that probably impacted his play last year. Some of his own doing, right? Like, he had the pregame arrest, he had the wrist injury, went through a divorce. Like, it's like a lot of shit was going on. He seems pretty motivated. He's lost 15 pounds. He looks fast again. He just ran that race and ran that 10-1 100 meter. I'm pretty sure he's still fast as a human being. So
clearly, yeah. I mean, he looks good. Although, did you see the hand brace and dropping passes, the clip from yesterday?
No, I didn't see that one from yesterday.
Getting clamped by Robbie Anderson. I think it was Robbie Anderson. So one of the other receivers clamped him. Yeah, and he had a little brace on his hand, so kind of concerning people there. I was, and maybe we had this conversation. I was pretty out on Tyreek Hill until the Jonnu trade, and now I'm like, I kind of got to capitulate.
Well,
there.
now the Rice thing further makes it. We're probably going to start seeing Tyreek in like the mid second, like the back end of second, pretty regularly now.
No, I think you're probably right about that, because now just with those top receivers are rarer than they used to be. Dylan Sampson goes at 148 here. That's a little earlier than I think you need to go with Dylan Sampson. But again, is this Billy maybe thinking maybe I would have brought him up here at pick 156? I would have brought him up probably. But I think I'm still taking Bashal Tutin. So it sounds like you're not super high on Bashal Tutin.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I mean, I think there's a lot of wish casting from just what happened with Bucky Irving, factored in. He's an explosive player. I just think his warts are going to be really hard for him to get on the field. Pass protection, major issue. And then does he get any goal line work, because they have Tank Bigsby too? It's not just one guy. Like, True. Tank Bigsby is a factor too. You have Etienne, who has, no matter what you think about Travis Etienne, he's got 2 1,400-yard seasons in the NFL. He's a first round pick. Like, and Tank Bigsby's a big back that can take goal line work. LaQuint Allen is good in pass protection. And also, I just don't even think the Jaguars are going to be built to throw a lot, or built to run a lot, because they're probably not going to be good.
Sure.
And the offensive line's not good. I just have a hard time. I think a lot of what Liam Cohen had success with in Tampa Bay is just getting priced into some of the pieces.
Yeah. I don't love hearing that, because I've drafted a ton of Bashal Tutin.
I have no problem with him, though. I think it's whatever. You're drafting him in a strike zone to where you're just playing the upside anyways.
Yeah. I mean, that is
and in best ball, you still have the outs. Like, if he has 3 or 4 spike weeks at that cost, you get him in your lineup. Managed leagues, I think it's going to be a thing where you always are looking at him. You're like, what is this guy doing on my roster?
All right, we are on the clock again. Kyle Williams is here if we want to add him onto the stack.
We probably need some running backs, though.
Do you like Isaac Arendo, Tyler Algier, Jalen Wright, Nick Chubb, Rico Dowdle? What do you think?
Yeah, any of those handcuff guys types are fine. I don't know if you have a preference. Bet against CMC,
one, but I'll throw Garendo on there. Do we want to stack up Bryce Young at this point with Xavier Leggett? We can probably wait a little bit on either Leggett or Thielen, or maybe Thielen's already gone. I don't actually see him here.
Thielen might be gone. You have Jatavian Sanders as a late throw.
Yeah, we've
guys
got
like
options.
Poker.
Do you want to go with Algier here or a tight end?
I have no problem betting against the 2 top running backs, or not. I guess CMC's not a top running back, but he's started to climb. But you're betting against Bijan, you're betting against CMC in terms of handcuffs.
Sure. All right. So we now are up to 4 running backs: Kyren Williams, Tony Pollard.
Might as well do all the first round running backs. We'll try to get Will Shipley, and it's like
yeah, right. That's just
like Jalen Wright, Will Shipley. Well, they'll get all the backups.
If they all get hurt, we're going to win this thing by 1,000 points.
I saw Jimmy Krasinski said that he projects Will Shipley to have the Kenneth Gainwell role to start the season 2. So that does give him a little bit of potential to maybe have some standalone value in blowouts or something, to maybe run into luck box into a usable week with him.
That's true. He's got a little juice, right?
Handcuff. Oh yeah, he's a big player. He can catch the ball too.
Yeah.
But I did see that they're expecting him to have that role, and then
that's fun. So, and then obviously contingent upside as well.
Right. Yeah. But that's big, because that just, if you get a guy getting snaps, you might just luck box into a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, having some standalone value is huge, very important. I feel like that is speaking of your wish casting, that's sort of like the assumption that most of us are making on Bashal Tutin, is like he probably has some standalone role there, and then contingent if anything were to happen to Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby. And like I think a lot of us are kind of making the assumption that the other guys have not shown enough for the Jags to not draft another running back. So they're like, so we're kind of hoping like maybe he can just take over and be the top back there. But to your point, like Travis Etienne has actually not been terrible. He's been pretty good. He came in with a lot of pedigree.
The efficiency hasn't been there, but it's a first round pick with tangible production in the NFL. Like, I'm pretty sure he's just not going to get ghosted.
Yeah. Hunter Henry goes at 162. I suppose we did need to take him if we wanted to get him on the team. But we still have Jatavian Sanders later. We've already got Drake May stacked up, so not the end of the world. And we might want both Jatavian Sanders and either Terrence Ferguson or Tyler Higbee. We can We can talk about your preference between those Rams tight ends. So yeah, not the end of the world to not get Henry.
No, I do like him a lot though. He's been kind of good. We needed running backs though. Like we had to have running backs on this roster.
Yeah. Do you like any of the later round running backs? So sometimes I push it a little bit to like the Jarquez Hunter, the Taj Brooks. I just saw today in the news or a beat reporter said he'd be surprised if Brashard Smith is the RB2 unless there are some injuries ahead of him. So it's like, okay, so he's not the RB2 that a lot of us have been hoping he might be in Kansas City. Of course, that's just a beat writer, so who knows? But
this is a team that probably be really good for like a Justice Hill.
Yeah.
Just because he's another one of those guys that like he doesn't have the full run out if Derrick Henry gets hurt, but we're going to get usable weeks out of him.
Yep.
The late round guys. I brought up Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt last time I did with you.
That's right.
Like I do love him in these just to throw a dart at.
Happy to go there. What do you think of Kareem Hunt this year? I cannot get myself to draft Kareem Hunt after he was so bad from an efficiency standpoint last year. And then I'm also not going to be shocked if the Chiefs are just like, well, we like him. Like he does what we need him to do at 3 yards per carry. And he ends up getting like 8 touchdowns and just like buries me. What are you doing with Kareem Hunt?
I hope that doesn't happen either. Cause I've come around to Pacheco being like a real value kind of where he goes and taking that. Cause Pacheco was going up to 2-3 turn last year.
Right.
And now you can get him in the 5th, 6th round. So hopefully that doesn't happen during Dragons. They did before they brought Kareem Hunt back. They signed Elijah Mitchell first in the order of signings.
Who's better?
Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're just throwing a dart, right? They're hoping he's been a guy that's just been injury prone. He did flash, early in his career. He's just had a hard time staying on the field. So I mean, if you told me any of those guys had a good year, like if we're standing in February, I'd be like, sure. I mean, like I'm sure, right? Like you could tell yourself the story.
Absolutely.
Especially even Brashard Smith could just be like in Jerick McKinnon type of role and have that in his range of outcomes. So
Kyle Williams does finally go at pick 175. I was thinking maybe we need to add him onto the stack if he comes all the way back to 180. Even though it's maybe not the position we most need at this point. Where are we at? So we have 3, 4, 6, 1 is where we're at.
Yeah, we've got kind of open board here.
Yep. I've got a name I want to throw at you. I'm going to wait until we are on the clock. What do you think of Jerome Ford here as kind of a hedge in the situation going in there in Cleveland, maybe involved in the passing game anyway?
I think if you like Jerome Ford, then like isn't the same argument for Justice Hill just kind of safer, but maybe he has a little bit more runway as for early down stuff if Judkins is actually suspended or just not with the team.
If you prefer Justice Hill, we can just do that instead.
I need those guys are fine. Shipley, Justice Hill, if you have a preference. We probably need a tight end, unless we're just going to push it because we have Kittle and just try to take like a Terrence Ferguson, Jatavian Sanders type deal.
Yeah, we could. I was thinking we could do Gesicki or
Higbee, Terrence Ferguson.
Depending, is there anybody that you like?
We have Kittle, like we do have an anchor tight end.
Yeah. I mean, we could. Is Shipley your preference over Jerome Ford? We could also do Pop Douglas.
Nah, we don't want to do Pop Douglas.
All right, I am going to talk about. We took Ford.
That's fine.
I'm fine with that. I was
you wanted to take him anyways in your heart of hearts.
In my heart of hearts, I was just like a little bit too slow with my hand. Oh no. I think Jerome Ford. I think both Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson are moving up. Maybe not anymore. I think maybe it's sort of leveled out, but I think I kind of like him as a bet where he's going just from as you kind of laid out the reasoning, even if you're not totally sold on it, just from I think he's going to have a standalone role. He's going to be most likely the passing down back, but then depending on what happens in the Quinshon Judkins situation, we don't really know how good Dylan Sampson is or like his ability to take over that backfield. So if Quinshon Judkins misses time, it might be actually Jerome Ford who has more of a role there. He's already been fine in the NFL. Dylan Sampson, kind of a smaller back, maybe not capable of really taking over. So I kind of think he has both some standalone value and pretty big contingent upside. Although a lot of people have pointed out, and it's a really good point, he is on the Browns, so maybe it's not quite as high as I want it to be.
Well, he's been on the Browns the past 2 years and giving you a couple weeks, here and there because he's a big play guy. He's a slasher. He's he's a very boomer bust runner. He can get you a big gain if you do give him a runway, but then he's very he struggles to create yards on his own, which is why they offered him that guaranteed contract to kind of locking a roster spot, right?
Yeah.
They told him there, you can take a pay cut and have your money be guaranteed, or we can cut you. And he
Right.
said, I will take the money.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Who says new regime drafted 2 guys feels bad. That is accurate. It does
Oh
not
yeah, by
feel
the
great that
Jags,
they
yeah.
drafted. No, I think he meant the Browns because they drafted 2 rookie running backs. But that might just be like,
I thought that was during the conversation we were talking about ETN, I think.
oh, maybe it was. Okay.
It applies though. It's applicable here too.
Yeah. Wait, I forget they also LaQuint Allen. I forget about him. Like I don't even think of it as being having a 4th running back to worry about there. So yeah, maybe there's more worry than I think there is in the Jag situation. Maybe there's a 0 waiting for me with all of my million Bashal Tootin shares.
It's and
Hopefully
like I
not.
said, I just think that they're not built to really run either, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what kind of happens. But I
No.
understand the bull case though. Like I know why gamers are taking it, and I do. I have some Tootin.
Okay. It's just no. It's good that you bring that up because like
I think Tootin in probably Jadon Blue situations are a lot closer than people probably think.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like just a really wide range of outcomes, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
could take over the backfield, but also like they might not do anything. Like we might be wishcasting with both of them. That is a very fair point. No, it's good that you bring that up because could be the exact same thing that happened to me last year where I was really confidently drafting Marshawn Lloyd and Kendre Miller around the same like part of the draft. It was like I think these guys are the RB2s on their team. Like they're going to give me something. Like they're not going to be zeros at the very least, and then they were both zeros the entire year. So yeah, probably good to like keep that in mind that like we don't actually know what the roles are going to be here that they like have any standalone value or what the
I think the
is.
lesson of that is with that is like probably what just mixing everyone, right?
Which is it's tough because it's like I want to have takes, but at the end of the day, it's like
you want to
I
have
can go wrong.
conviction, but if you're drafting 300 teams, like you're trying to, like you said, get some of that, spread some of that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's take a look at some of the players available here. So we are at 3661. I'm going to sort by ADP.
Yeah, we evened it back out in running backs, even though they're mostly flyer types, but
yeah. All right. We could just double tap Jatavian Sanders. And do you have a preference between Tyler Higbee and Terrence Ferguson, or would you rather take somebody else? I mean,
I would assume for going the Rams and how they've operated with rookies that Terrence Ferguson would be kind of a next year thing.
Okay.
But you don't know how long. Higbee's he's a little older, but Higbee was effective when he came back at that playoffs last year. So and he's given us a couple spot starts.
Do you want to do that double click with Higbee? I'd be fine doing that.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
We do have 2 more picks later. So if there's, let's just take a look at the top of ADP. Is there anybody here that is a must have for you?
No, not really. So,
okay. All right, then let's do it. Let's just double tap it. See who's there at the next turn.
Plus, because I want to get you to draft some bad players at the end.
Okay. I love that. I love, I mean, are we going to, do you mean Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt?
No, but he does apply for most of. I do like him too. We don't have to take him, but
I mean, I'd be happy. I've started mixing him in since our conversation last time. He is no longer on none of my rosters.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, you're on the board.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, on the one hand, I'm like, well, we should save it for the next turn, but like, we got to talk about something, and we only have so much time to like, give me your takes. Give me your takes on some of your later bad
players
that you want to draft, and if we get sniped on them, that's okay. I'll just
Whittington earlier, who we could still do Whittington. Atwell's probably gone, right?
Probably. Let me see.
Because Atwell's another one. He's going to start in that, basically in the X like that in that spot that Demarcus Robinson had last year. So they immediately picked up his. Yeah, throw him in the queue. He's gonna be.
I'm gonna throw him in the queue. I'm gonna throw Whittington.
They immediately brought him back on kind of like a Bateman-like contract for 1 year. Okay. So we got some bullets here.
Okay, Liggett is gone.
Yeah, Liggett's gone.
Is Jalen Coker somebody who could? Oh, 2 goes, which is not a surprise. We'll throw Jalen Coker in the queue if you have any interest, or tell me about some of your other
potentially. Listen, I've brought it up too, like especially in these DraftKings where you get the extra round. Like I'm firing bullets on Jermaine Burton. Like
Oh yes, yeah. You got me in on Jermaine Burton. Yeah, no,
there is no
I'm with you.
reason to not at least he shouldn't be zero. I know he shouldn't be zero. A
Yeah.
third round player with pedigree on the Cincinnati Bengals. Everything's been positive. Joe Burrow's already talking about him in OTAs. Apparently, he's got his head on straight again till tomorrow. Like there's always tomorrow with these guys. But
Yep.
if for round 19, round 20, I feel like he's just got to be mixed in. Because
Yeah. No.
like people are drafting, like you just saw, like people are drafting Deontay Thornton for like the same reason, but like on the Raiders, like and like a guy who had no production in college.
Yeah. It was Billy took Tutu at well. No, I was not blaming you for taking him. I kind of assumed he was not going to make it back to us with our next pick. It was just funny that we were talking.
I thought he was already gone. I mean, I had already
yeah.
thought he was gone anyways. You know, Rams starting wide receiver. This is the team that funnels stuff to their wide receivers, play 3 wide receiver sets. Like,
yeah. Do you? So you're assuming that he is going to take a step forward in terms of opportunities? Because like I've heard so many positives, people are really positive on Tutu Atwell, and I'm like, well, like they only used him in like 30% of routes last year or something.
Yeah, I would say like my positivity like is still in context of what I believe is Tutu Atwell the player.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
But I do believe at a team that historically has run a lot of 11 personnel, he's going to be on the field because Whittington doesn't play that role in the offense.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like,
right.
The thing you have to worry about with Atwell is if Devontae Adams is used maybe more outside, but you know, then Whittington becomes a good pick too. Then Whittington slides more inside and plays more slot snaps.
Right.
So that would be your kind of worry. But I think that Adams is like a direct upgrade on kind of what they were asking Cooper Kupp to do last year. And then he's going to soak up all that DeMarcus Robinson end zone stuff. Devontae, that is like, he's going to soak up all that shit.
Yeah. I would make that assumption. Yeah.
I think Devontae Adams is just a pretty solid pick where he goes.
Yeah, he almost came back to us at the
and we would have had an awesome
stack 34. Yeah. I was getting pretty excited about that. And then
I think he's just a really solid 3rd round pick.
I do too. Yeah. I would take him at the 2-3 turn. Would you ever take him that high?
Yeah, I think especially if I started running back at early on, like you're looking at him there, like it's team build, you know. But I think he's fair. I think he's fairly priced there.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we are coming up on our pick,
and he's probably going to move now too because of Rashee Rice.
Yeah, good. Oh yeah, that was the player. I was just thinking, what was I going to bring up? Do you have any interest in Jalen Royals with the Rashee Rice situation? Like, do you think he's a late round flyer to consider?
I think probably not. I still think that the ghost of Juju is going to be involved, like especially early. If we're talking a team that is trying to win Super Bowls, I know it's the Chiefs that they F around in the preseason, but like they're a veteran team. Like they're not going to play Jalen Royals probably the first month this year. Like Juju's going to play. I think Juju's going to play. I do like Royals though. I'm intrigued big picture about him, but
I think
it's hard to make that argument for the snaps.
We've got Whittington ready to draft. Now let's talk about who our second pick is going to be as well. Do you have other late round, final round picks that you really like that we should queue up here?
Any of those guys. Yeah, I mean, Wicks is fine. It's funny that Wicks was such a popular pick last year and kind of got the opportunity just going to hang on to the football, but I still think he's going to be involved. I brought up Jermaine Burton.
Oh yeah, Burton is he still here? He is. So we could just do those too.
He's always there.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Beautiful. So we end. That's the final team. 3-6-8-3. Probably my most common construction on DraftKings, I would guess, is right around here. 3-6-8-3. We got Drake May, Kyron Williams, Tony Pollard, Nico Collins, Drake London, George Pickens, George Kittle, Jalen Waddle, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman, Bryce Young, Matthew Stafford, Isaac Guerrero, Tyler Algier, Justice Hill, Jerome Ford, Jatavion Sanders, Tyler Higbee, Jordan Whittington, and Jermaine Burton is the final team. I think it looks pretty good. I think we did end up stacking everybody because both Stafford and Bryce, we got their tight ends with Tyler Higbee and Jatavion Sanders. We've got Drake May with Stephon Diggs. So they're all just single stacked, but I think that's okay.
Yeah, I do like the quarterback trio because we have two guys that I think are going to have a little bit of volatility in May and Young, but they also have the rushing upside, and Stafford just kind of a glue guy. Like, I do like that kind of quarterback room. I like going 3 quarterbacks on DraftKings. I like doing it more like with that, like we said, not doing 3 where you get like a shuck, a dart. I like to do it more with like 3 players. I think are more like the QB2 zone.
Yeah.
Because you add more points to your roster. This team, let's just be real though, like it's contingent on kind of one thing, and it's Kyron Williams being good still. True.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to be needing Kyron to put up a big season, which I think is more likely than not. Like
I mean, number
offense was
one the
good.
last 2 years in red zone points at running back. Like,
Yeah.
I know everyone hates him. And to be fair, he only has 1 year with kind of bad efficiency. Like, he was efficient 2 years ago. And I think sometimes we harp too much, especially with the running backs, on hyper efficiency and non-efficiency. Josh Jacobs has done like his whole career, right? Like,
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs oscillates between being like, man, Josh Jacobs looks like a bum, and then you're like, oh, Josh Jacobs was incredibly efficient this year. It's like,
Yeah.
the running back efficiency, I tend not to get too much in the weeds. It's like nailing it down, unless you have like a 4-year sample where like you're kind of bad,
Okay.
like, or you're really good. I think it's fair because like I just think there's a lot of volatility, and some of that stuff's outside of your control, due to offensive line play and offensive environment. So,
Yeah.
I,
I mean,
I still
like
think
with Saquon, Saquon is like the perfect example of somebody that like I was kind of thinking, well, he seems like he hasn't been that great in recent years with the Giants. So like I was pretty out on him last year for that reason because he was not like elite efficiency, and then of course he goes to Philadelphia and it's like, oh, he's amazing with a good offense
and
around
we
him.
know efficiency is not sticky, and we do this every year as fantasy analysts. Where it's like this guy did this, like
Yeah.
Brees Hall is one of those guys.
Oh yeah.
Extremely inefficient last year, but what if he looks more like rookie year Brees Hall?
Right. Good point. Jimmy asked, do you ever handcuff Bowers with Mayer in the final round? I don't. I drafted so much Michael Mayer last year. I thought he was a really good bet, and then he was just like he missed for a big chunk of the season for reasons that we never found out why exactly, which personal reasons. Yeah, that was, I don't know. Like he was a second round pick, right, Michael Mayer? So
second
like
round pick. He was taken 1 pick after Laporta, I believe. I think they were
wow,
back
okay,
to back. I think they were back to back in the draft,
yeah,
or 2 apart. There was something like that. They were really sandwiched together though. I do think they're going to run more 12 personnel if you try to talk yourself into like maybe having an out with Michael Mayer. I think that they're going to play a lot of 12 personnel with Chip Kelly and Pete coming over. They're going to be another team that's very, run centric compared to previous iterations.
yeah. Billy wants a head-to-head team comparison, his versus ours. Billy, I'm not that interested in your team. Your team is just like a standard run-of-the-mill team. What I care about is what did Summers Goth end up doing? What's the full Summer? Wait, Summers Got Heat. Summers Got Heat is the name of the team. Let's see that final team, and then we can we have time, so we can take a look at. I should say I have time. We have 4 minutes before Kyle Dvorchak is supposed to show up here.
I want to know what the Goff Burrow Dak team ended up with.
Okay, yeah, let's read off that team. So it's a 4-6-7-3 build in the end. Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Bucky Irving, Joe Burrow, Zay Flowers, David Montgomery, Khalil Shakir, Josh Downs, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, Ramondre Stevenson, Isaiah Likely, Adam Thielen, Romeo Dobbs, Rico Dowdle, Anthony Richardson, Kate Otten, Tyler Lockett, Pat Fryermuth, and Luke McCaffrey is the final team there. Yeah. So four
the rest of
quarterbacks.
the picks actually weren't even bad.
I know, that's the thing. Like, this is a totally standard draft after that weird start. So I don't know what to make of that. I'm guessing there was some weird error there.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to hope that that team gets bodied at wide receiver in this format.
Yeah. Do they have any like correlation there? Dak, I don't think they end up with any Cowboys.
No.
Goff, yeah, just zero.
Anthony Richardson,
they have
and
Downs. Yeah, there you
Anthony
go.
Richardson,
There's one.
and Josh Downs.
That's all you need. If it's just Anthony Richardson to Josh Downs is all you need in the playoff weeks. They got a shot. They got a shot there.
When we were on with Kyle, I do like Downs in this format. Remember we talked about the slot guys. People always think it's like best ball Alec Pierce, right? But it's the guys like the Justice Hills and the slot centric guys that this format really gives a boost to as well. That you think about compared to managed leagues. The Jaden Reeds, the Josh Downs, Khalil Shakirs, these guys that don't run a lot of pass routes, have a high target per route rate, but get kind of boned because they're on teams too that don't drop back a lot, and then they don't play in 1 to 2 wide receiver sets.
Yeah, I always struggle with what to do in this. Like, this is the exact situation where it's like I believe in Josh Downs, the talent, but then I'm concerned about the team environment. Are they going to throw enough, et cetera, et cetera? It's always kind of a tough discussion there, as opposed to like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow is like obviously the best possible situation to be in. Like, you've got awesome quarterback, awesome receiver, bad defense. They're going to throw a ton. It's like, okay, I know what to do in that situation. Yep. This is what makes fantasy fun, though.
That's what you do.
That kind of stuff out.
Jermaine Burton.
Yeah, Jermaine Burton final round is the answer to that question. So I know you need to get out of here. Do you have time to like?
I can hang out for a little bit, say what's up to Kyle, whatever
Okay.
you guys want to do. If you want to riff, if there's anything else. If the chat has any questions, we can
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah. If anybody has questions, I'll take a look. I'll read off Billy's team. So
Oh
Billy was
yeah,
in
what
the
was Billy's team?
Yeah, so Billy starts with Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, Jamison Williams, Cortland Sutton, RJ Harvey, Isaiah Pacheco, Bo Nix, Darnell Mooney, J.K. Dobbins, Tua Tagovailoa, Najee Harris, Dylan Sampson, Brenton Strange, Cedric Tillman, Daniel Jones, Darren Waller, Tutu Atwell, Adonai Mitchell, and Malik Washington is the final team. So he's got Daniel Jones paired up with A.D. Mitchell. I think just that.
He's got Bronco stack Tua and Tyreek. So that's what he was the gamer that said that he had to take Tua. Because he had Tyreek.
And he knew we were going to take him. Yep. He's got Bo Nix with RJ Harvey and Cortland Sutton. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, I dig it.
I think it's a strong team.
I like mixing in the pass catching running back sometimes with their stack, like the gamer.
Oh, me too.
The gamer that I think was in front of us did Purdy and CMC, or was that 2 spots in front of us?
Yeah,
I do like
you're
that
right.
too.
You're right. 2 spots.
Because I mean, in DFS tournament play, that's been a nice go-to.
For sure.
In recent years, so I do like doing it in these tournaments too, because I know on DraftKings I've had success doing it in large field tournaments. The CMC, especially CMC plus Purdy. It was 2 years ago. I had a monster Sunday when I think they played the Buccaneers.
Nice.
And it was like I did a Purdy just with CMC, left the receivers to go, and he ended up throwing I think Ayuk still ended up having a good game, but CMC was like kind of he caught a touchdown pass. I got a bubble. It was like done that a little bit with Goff and Gibbs in recent years, like where you could do an Amon-Ra Gibbs double with Goff. Like a way to get unique.
I did that. Yeah. I remember one of a show that I did I believe it was a Saturday stream, and I was doing a stream for that show back when I was with Stochastic, and I said I think the nuts here is draft Jared Goff with Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta, and that was exactly what won the tournament. Was that double stack? I was pretty pleased with that. Although I think Amon-Ra also went off that game. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun doing those kind of unique.
Well, don't you remember the Millie winner? I think it was week 8 or week 9. Whenever they played the Jaguars, just played 5 Lions. They had 5 Lions.
Oh yeah, that is right. That is right.
They had 5 Lions and Taysom Hill. It was just like they maxed Lions and Taysom Hill and just like won all the money.
I just clicked in a new guy here. This is Kyle Dvorchak.
What's up, Rich? We back for our monthly meeting of you, me, and Neil.
That's what I said. Yeah. We ran it inverse this time. I hang out with you for a little bit, kind of see what you guys are up to.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rich is not probably going to stick around.
I can't do the whole during the day.
Wanted to at least say hi.
Yeah. I did want to say hi to Kyle though.
How did your stream go, Kyle?
Which stream?
Not a stream. You're recording something, right?
Oh yeah. I recorded. Yeah, I recorded the latest episode. We also were just doing drafts. We were just ripping a BBM, and this team went. You can get second round BTJ now, and then pair him with Travis Hunter at 5'6" sometimes.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's starting to get fun. Like I could see how someone would tell me when like Brian Thomas was the 11th or 12th pick and Travis Hunter was going like a round and a half earlier. I probably still did it at that time, but I could see how someone could tell me like you're paying too much for this. Well, now I'm not, buddy.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been getting a lot of those Jags double stacks. It's a good time. Rich, did you give your take on Travis Hunter? I forget.
I don't know if I've given it with you guys, but I mean, I've always just been pro on not putting a ceiling on what he could be just because something hasn't happened doesn't mean it can't happen. I've always thought he's going to play more snaps both ways than probably most people project because he's always done it. I still remember it was Daniel Jeremiah that was at his pro day and was like, this dude just was running like 20-yard digs and like posts and was doing that for like 15 minutes. And then he just flipped around and played cornerback. And they're like, he wasn't even sweating. He was even sweating. It's like, what kind of human is this? Like, it's like, we're clearly, and he's done it at every level. Like he was the #1 collegiate prospect and he only delivered on that, became the first time player that was he won the Chuck Bednarik Award and the Fred Biletnikoff Award in the same year. Like, just
a freak.
Like, again, like why put a ceiling on a person? Like we don't know what the ceiling is. So I've always just been the pro optimistic side.
I think like a comp for like that ability is very clearly just soccer players. Like soccer players do this where they're running miles and like literal miles and miles in a game. And like that would sound insane to a football player, right? But like, if you did train throughout a lot of your life to play two ways in the way that like soccer players obviously are playing in general, like both ways all across the field, like there is precedent for it, just not in this sport, but because players have not typically done that in this sport. I'm with Rich, like totally. This could absolutely come back and backfire. Like it's very possible he can't end up doing it. But when we're playing these top heavy tournaments, what we want to look for is like, how can we easily find outliers? Because like trying to call your shot, ADP is relatively smart. Trying to call your shot is not that easy. And I don't want to be deviating from the market all the time. But where are places where the market can just be wrong on what the top 10% of outcomes look like? And Hunter's like maybe the most obvious bet we have on the entire board of like, what does the top 5, 10%, 1%, when he really hits, what does it look like? He's like very clearly, oh, a number 2 overall wide receiver goes in like now the 5th or 6th round. Like that's clearly where you can be wrong and have it blow up in your face, or you can just draft a lot of it.
Also, I think there's a pretty clear way to manage his snaps too, that like, you know, I've brought up too, and other people more intelligent ball knowers have brought up too, is that you just don't have him play snaps on clear rundowns. I mean, if it's 1st and 10, even if you're on defense, he doesn't have to be out there, right? Like you can just bring him in on passing situations. Same thing on offense, right? Like if you're in a heavier set, that's where he gets a breather, like he gets a rest. Like there's still a way for him to have like a really high, I think, route participation angle, even if his snaps aren't 90%, because there's a clear way to manage this. That obviously in college they didn't have to do this, but I think in the NFL you might get some of that. But I've always thought he's going to play more two-way stuff than probably the consensus believes, because until he doesn't, I'm going to keep believing he's going to do it.
That's kind of how I felt too.
You guys are both baseball fans, so I got to point out somebody that is in chat right now is Chicago Cubs all-star Justin Steele, injured right now, but good to see Justin in the chat. Justin, by the way, going to be on the show tomorrow night. We're going to be streaming with Justin here,
and I feel like there's no professional overlap more that's into fantasy sports than major league pitchers.
I think that's actually major league players in general. I think
major league pitchers, though, because they don't play every day.
True. Oh, good point.
They're doing work every day, but you know, they hang out. Well, I would say if you were to like dissect the athletes that actually follow me on Twitter, so like they're almost like pitchers would be like easily the number one.
Interesting.
That's funny. That does make sense now that you say it. Yeah, because I know that they all have their like $3,000 buy-in leagues that they all play together, so they're all super serious about it. But it would make sense that the pitchers are the ones that are spending the most time thinking about it, because they're not playing every single day. Yeah, that's funny. Good to see you. Pitchers are athletes too. Pitchers are athletes too.
They are.
Yes, nobody's denying that. I am of course the pitcher on my beer league softball team, so I am with you, Justin. The pitcher is actually the best athlete on the team. Of course,
you and Justin, you're very similar in that capacity.
I've said a lot of people are saying me and Justin very similar. I did.
So are you a good cornhole player too? Then,
yeah,
I'm not like amazing.
He's from the Midwest. He's got like he's from the Midwest. It's a bit in his DNA. Maybe he's not great, right? But like versus the average American, if you are from like nearly, you live in like Minnesota, right?
I am in Minnesota. Yeah.
Like I'm from Ohio. Rich, I know at least right now you live in Ohio as well. Like there's something in our blood. It's in the water, something of that nature, where like if you let me face off against someone from California, like I'd probably smoke him.
I mean, listen, I found there's a clear correlation. If you're a good softball pitcher, because of the motion, like you can throw bags. You can throw.
The thing
bags.
is, I'm not great at either of them. So yeah, I'm a decent pitcher. I'm pretty inconsistent. I'll have games where I just like cannot throw a strike, and it's like the most frustrating thing on the planet. And then the next week I'll be like, this is so easy. I can place my pitches. Sometimes I do it on the outside of the plate. Sometimes, and it's just like I don't know what it is. But
so we can't start you in one. We can't start you in one pitch tournaments.
I'm a great best ball, slow pitch softball pitcher, because like I have some great games here and there. But yeah, I'm very inconsistent.
You're like a spike week. You're a big spike week player.
Yeah. I'm a big spike week guy. Exactly. But I literally do not pick up a softball between games, and I don't take practice pitches because I'm like, I don't get better.
So we have no idea what could make you inconsistent. There's just nothing we could pin it on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, fair point. But yeah, similar to cornhole, some days I'm just amazing at it, and other days not so much. But I wanted to the point of pitchers being great athletes. I maybe am not quite on the same level as Justin, because as I told Rich before the show, I took a step in my game just before it ended. Sadly, I got a guy to pop up, and I took one step, and I felt a pop in my calf yesterday. So I think I ended a lot of pain and ended my game. But I think I either tore or at least strained my calf. So I'm shelved right now as well. So yeah, I guess a lot of similarities between myself and Justin Steele. Any other takes to get out, Rich? Anything we didn't talk about news wise? Jordan Addison. I think we did talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. I mean, listen, it's Kyle's at Roto World. He's the one working. I remember these days,
good
like
point.
when you're doing blurbs, like
Kyle does the blurbs. He is on it.
I mean, if you're thinking about the offseason bingo card, like we are rapidly pushing through it. I mean, we have receiver holdouts, a player arrest, a suspension,
firework incident. You don't get that bingo every year.
Yeah, we had the Jahmyr Gibbs came out and said he was going to play more wide receiver. So like we've got we just need it. We're one Kyle Pitts like camp highlight away from just being all the way back.
I just have to point out this chat stuff going on. Matt Murphy says to Justin, how many hits do I get off you with 100 pitches? I played baseball my whole life and I am a freak athlete naturally. Justin has some confidence here. Justin says, wrong one. Says 0. 0 is the expectation.
It depends what you mean your whole life. Are you saying like, yeah, I played D1 college ball?
Right.
Like, no, like, did I play D1 college ball? Like, maybe you can get 1 out of 100 or whatever. But like, I played like little league as a kid and then played at the YMCA. No, that's meaningless whole life. Like, it means nothing.
Yeah, I can say very confidently I would get 0 hits off Justin Steele in 1,000 pitches. Like,
unless they're saying like,
Isn't basically what Trevor Bauer does now? He just like throws at dudes on YouTube. Like he just like pitches the guys on YouTube.
Yeah. It's like the Brian Scalabrine where he just like goes to pick up courts and still demolishes them though. But like he's like, I'm just gonna play with YouTubers now.
The problem was is like if you're talking about like major league pitching, like you could maybe if he's throwing you 100 straight fastballs, you time one up, but it's the other stuff, man. It's the shit off the fastball that like that's when like the game separates. I still remember like when I bumped up like and like when every dude was throwing like 80s and then stuff started to move, I was like, I'm fucked. Stuff started to move. I was like, oh my god, what was that?
I can't. I do want to pose a question to Justin. Just how many hits would Marty Mush get off you? Just real quick. He's not even on the show, but I just need to hear his thoughts. Would Marty Mush get any throws, getting hits off of you in 100 pitches? This is his. He does a podcast, Steal the Show, with Marty Mush. Who's apparently a pretty good baseball player. So curious about that question. Anyway, let's get back to talking some football. Rich, do you need to get out of here now? Do you?
I'm going to take off before you guys start this next draft. It was like I said, it was evening time, but with it being the middle of the day and prime house activity, locking in here.
What where can people find you? What other content do you have coming out? What can they look out for?
Yeah, just at Lord Reeves on the old Twitter machine. I have a series coming out every week. This week I did a whole series on like the league top down trends. So like league trends and then trends within each position that are going on. It was really cool. Like kind of last year, like brought me to a lot of signal on some of the run first running backs. Because receiving backs were kind of getting phased out and rushing was going up anyways, so it kind of put me on some of those mid-round guys, those crusty dudes no one wanted, like the James Connors of the world, and it helped me out a lot last year. But next week will be a whole like regression series. We'll be on team performance in terms of scoring touchdowns, red zone production, and like that's always like a money making series every year, because last year it like had me kind of fading like 49ers, Dolphins, Cowboys, had me on like Commanders, Broncos, Falcons, like so like look for that stuff next week.
Very cool. Love that. Yeah, I will look out for that. All right, thank you, Rich. This is really fun. Hopefully we can do it again soon.
Yeah, we'll squeeze one more in the summer. Hopefully I see you in a couple weeks, Kyle. In August.
Yep.
Love it. Right.
If I'm up there, I'll hit you up.
All right, guys.
Cool. All right, later, Reeves. All right, Kyle. Let's get in a draft here. Let me move things around here. 1 second. How we doing?
Good. When's the last time you updated the sidekick? I'm in the Crane back channels, and obviously, as Rich said, we are in the thick of the news season. So like literally all day I'm getting messages from them while I'm on news, writing up the news. Like, what are we doing for Jordan Addison? I haven't been contributing tons. I'm like working, but
my assumption is I believe they do. Well, you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but my assumption is that
remember this. I'm not contributing. I'm just helping with the rankings. Anything that's like, when do we update this? I'm way too lazy to know. Go ahead.
I think that the rankings update, like I don't need to update for the rankings update. I think they're going to update the rankings. I don't need to like upgrade or upgrade so I think I don't have to worry about upgrading the sidekick. It should have the latest.
I mostly just draft off my phone. So I don't have you tried to use the sidekick on your phone?
Does it? I don't think you can you? I have not tried. I did not realize that was an option.
We've had people in the Discord experiment with it, and if like you're using like the right browser that lets you run plugins on your phone, you can kind of get it. The like sizing of the screen, I haven't tried it yet, but like the sizing of the screen is a little funky, but someone got it to work. And you have to like navigate to DraftKings their desktop website on mobile, which is like kind of frustrating to do because it wants to redirect you to the app. But
I've done that.
I have not tried it myself.
My DFS, yeah.
Oh, have you had to do that where you have to like CSV upload from your phone?
Oh, yeah, it's awful.
It's awful. DraftKings is fighting you tooth and nail to not let you use their freaking website.
Yeah,
just because they want you on the app or whatever. It's awful.
Well, so I used to use Fantasy Cruncher on my phone, and I would like frequently I'd go out and like you can late swap with no issue, or you could. I don't use it anymore, but you could late swap with Fantasy Cruncher. But for like MMA, where it's like everybody, or golf, where everybody locks at once, there's no, they like disable the late swap functionality. So then it's like a whole thing where you have to like try like copy pasting, and I'm like, I don't know how to do all this on my phone. So it becomes kind of a pain. All right, I'm gonna get us into. I do want to point out. Justin says Marty would catch one in the ribs. He sucks at baseball. I've seen better swings on a porch. Love that. And apparently Justin made a good golf bet today. Fitzpatrick, first round leader, won some money. Love to see that. Also, thank you for this reminder. Billy says, please like the stream. I don't remind people enough. It does help out quite a bit if you do like the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Comment under the video. That always helps out quite a bit. And of course, if you want to get notifications, hit that notification bell to get alerts when I go live. Glover, that's no good for JSU. All right, I'm going to get us in to a $20 DK Millie. If anybody wants to join, getting in right now. Looks like there's spots left. Got to check my location. All right, 8 spots left.
All right, now we'll just back out of here real quick, and then we'll jump into the Madden Sim streets. We'll play some Madden Sims lineups.
Do you do that? Do you do the Madden Sims? You would. That does seem like
every now and then. Yeah. Because they have like, I mean, they have like the best ball Millie Maker tickets that like never fill. So I'll play some Sims or whatever. Only for that reason. I wouldn't actually like play it like if it was just like contests that were filling. Like I don't know, man. These like these satellites to the like the best ball Millie Maker, to like the golf Millie Maker, they're just like half full, and the Sims is like a roughly solved game. So I'm sure whatever.
Wait, so you. I assume you would not play. I mean, you seem to play pretty much everything. Is it like, would you not play something if there were not Sims and or projections readily? Like, do you just use like Saber Sim for something like that? Like, if you don't know the sport ahead of time, do you just like?
If I truly know nothing about the sport, I absolutely wouldn't play. Like, I have to be able to find something for it. But like Madden Sims is quite literally just like it's.
I guess it's football. Yeah,
it's football, but also like. Players just have they play so many Sims every day that like you can just look at their box score and be like, yeah, that's like basically what they do. Like they're literally just playing a computer game, and it's not humans playing a computer game. It's computers playing a computer game. So like it probably changes whenever like a new Madden comes out and the Sims are new. But otherwise, like they've been playing the same computer versus computer for a year. Their average points per game, if you really need to know like the standard deviation, maybe you can like look into their game log, but otherwise it's like pretty bread and butter on how to play Madden Sims, but there's like not a lot of action worth getting down. Also, sometimes I'll just put in, because you can't see your player exposures unless you have a separate like lineup on something else in the app. Like you need, like if you want to look at upcoming lineups to view player exposure for best ball, you have to have something else in there, a DFS contest, just to populate the view player exposure thing, the little bar.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you don't have upcoming stuff, you can't just like view what percent of Xavier Worthy do I have. So you have to have something reserved ahead of time. So like I'll just do Madden Sims because they're always running. It's just convenient to have that around.
That's funny. Okay. So like, wait, so I could not check my player exposures right now for best ball on DraftKings?
I don't think so. I certainly do. Like go and do it on your phone. Like I can't. I don't think you can.
I might. Maybe I'll message them and see if there's a quick fix to that.
Yeah, I will literally do it right now. Yeah, it's not there. Yeah, whenever you don't, because I can tell, because I don't have any Madden Sims lines coming. If you go to the upcoming, you go to best ball, there's no bar for view player exposure.
JSU says yes, you can. So maybe that's on your computer. Maybe you can. Or something.
You might be. I'm sure. Maybe you can on a computer or desktop, or maybe you just need to update the app. Although it kind of forces you to all the time, anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to look on my phone. Best ball. Yeah, I don't see an immediate way to.
Right.
That's interesting. If I go into it, no. Maybe it is on your phone only, or sorry, on your computer only.
But if you go in and you have an upcoming lineup for any sport for anything in DFS, it pulls up that little population bar. So
Right.
I always have $1 in the dumbest whatever is on. Just
Just
I
be
like
able
to
to
have
see
my
it.
exposure up. Yeah.
All right. No, that's if I cannot figure out how to do it, maybe I'll message.
If I can't figure out how to do it, I tell you what, it probably can't be done. That's what my opinion is.
Look at the confidence. You and Justin Steele. The confidence level is just sky high. All right. J Jets goes. Jamar Chase goes. Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Puka Nacua, CMC.
Up ADP Saquon. Nothing. I don't get too fancy in the early rounds. I've been drafting a lot of Puka. You could convince me he's like the second best pick on the board. I'm like, sure, I'll take him 102. If his ADP was 102, I'd be like, sure, 8% of that. Sign me up. And we don't have to pay that. So
yeah. Okay, Billy says on your phone, bottom left tab.
Disagree with these people. They're all wrong. Like I said,
they're smarter than you are. You just said, wait, is under no lineups? Bottom left tab. Maybe it depends on your phone too. Do you have an iPhone? What kind of phone do you have?
I have an iPhone. Maybe it's an iPhone Android thing.
Huh. Upcoming contest tab on bottom of phone. Best ball. Yeah.
I am looking at it right now. How do I view player exposure? There's no way.
Upcoming best ball. I'm not seeing it. Wait, sport.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think we were seeing it. Billy
and JSU, but JSU says he's looking at it right now. Okay, and Shady agrees with you. Says you need to be in an upcoming DFS contest.
Thank you.
Huh. Oh, but it can be any contest. He says regular.
Yeah, literally anything. Exactly. You could register free ones. You don't even actually. I should probably just do that. But yeah, you could register a free one. Like every contest is has the 200-man free one that is guaranteed. So it quote fills in that sense. It will run the contest. Yeah. Or it actually could be something that's not guaranteed. It wouldn't matter. So yeah, register for a free one. But that's the only way to get that little bar to populate.
Entering a 1 cent contest reserving. Do I need to
you do need to actually set a lineup. Otherwise,
you
doesn't have a lineup to view.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna click some names here. This is
what are we playing? What's your
I'm playing a 1 cent, let's see, MLB $50 baseball pocket cup mini max qualifier number something. Only 3,000 entries left, but I
snag
this is an all-star game thing. I don't know. Seth Lugo. I guess not all is baseball's coming back. I guess Seth Lugo, Spencer Strider.
Tomorrow, I think, right? I think tomorrow's they're back from the All-Star break.
Okay. It seems right because this is a little bit more than 24 hours away. It's pretty nice that I can enter 1 cent contest. I didn't even know that I could enter contests quite that low now. After 4 years not being able to enter anything under like $5 or something. Getting back to it. I've been doing a lot of like mini maxes, which I'd never played before. But it's like
for baseball, right? That's the only thing happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think during NFL season I started playing. All right, I've set a lineup. My contests. Oh wait, upcoming. We are almost on the clock.
Oh my god, guys, trying to stress in the middle of the second round. Oh my god. Check Roto World, you dummy.
Brock Bowers.
Insta auto click.
Yes, my man. Okay. And I think that's pretty rare too, Bowers and Saquon.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because we got Saquon a little past ADP and Bowers also probably like a pick or two, maybe past ADP, but you like that. You like when I don't want to like die on the hill of like unique combos of like, what if I made worse picks and that was actually the thing you needed? Like, because like if you are not getting ADP values, the only way in that sense to get like unique combos is to just reach for a player in the middle of the second. Maybe there's a reason they're going in the middle of the second and not the 1-2 turn. Not to say there's no reason to do that, especially if you are of the opinion that, oh, there is no difference between the players going at, just say you're at the 1-2 turn, between pick 13 and 18. I think they're all the same. I just don't want to be overly confident. Like, I actually know way more in the market in that sense. I'd much rather just find my unique combos when people on DraftKings do dumb stuff, which is every draft.
Yep. T. Higgins is here. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Feels just like a T. Higgins again. Nothing too fancy here.
I'm good with T. Higgins there. Unfortunately, I was hoping Trey McBride would go.
I know it's a shame that you could, but I would not want to take him. So it's kind of you would hope someone else would bump someone down we wanted. Although there's not like anyone I'm dying to get there. I guess it would have been like Garrett Wilson, but
no, you're right. Like I like Devontae Adams, and you like Garrett Wilson. I think they're all kind of in the same tier to me. So at the end of the day, I feel okay about the way this is going. We got one of each of every position except for quarterback. All right. JSU says, see, I just have MLB best ball going, so it's there all the time. Interesting.
That's nice though, because I drafted my only MLB best ball team that will start tomorrow, which hopefully means it will be going all the time too. Obviously I don't have season long best ball for MLB, but if there's a lineup in there, I'll always be able to check without doing the stupid reservation and set lineup trick.
Yeah.
And I drafted a baseball best ball team, and I hated it. I don't want to do that anymore.
I did not do it this year. I did some last year, and it didn't go well for me.
Did you see that for their second half of the season contest, they're including like 3 days of the wild card round or something?
I saw somebody posted about that. Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure. So I was just like looking at the baseball schedule because I don't know when the like wild card round. I couldn't even tell you if it's like July or October. Like I just don't follow baseball closely enough to remember like when. Obviously I know now because I know it's the All-Star game, but like if you asked me 2 months ago, I wouldn't have known. But I looked at the schedule and I'm pretty sure it's just like a few days, like all the contests say like includes postseason, which is really interesting strategy. You're thinking about like, even if there are really good hitters, if they're missing the final round, just like you would in playoff best ball or even like season long best ball, if we had reasons to believe old players were getting worse, those are very tricky bets to make. But I think it only includes like someone comments can let me know. I think it only includes like a handful of days of the postseason. So that strategy is like neutered, or at least is like a dumb balancing act. Like if you're going to include postseason, dude, just run it through run it through the World Series. Yeah, no, it's
I'm guessing it was an error. I wonder if they'll take it back. I don't know how deep are they into this contest? Like,
they're waiting. Like they've locked tomorrow, so they're not taking it back.
Okay. Yeah, and people have like gone around that strategy, like they've factored that in, so you can't.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair to like take that back or anything.
Yeah, that's yeah, I agree. It would be interesting to do it with more than those 3 days. Probably, it makes it kind of an interesting contest, even if it was likely an error. I think it does make it kind of interesting. Any guesses who my top XO is now? Now that I'm looking at my exposures, I have 42% of a receiver who goes in the last 4 rounds of the draft. Do you have any guesses who it is?
Can you pull up we'll make our pick and then just like pull up ADP and scroll down. You can scroll past them, scroll up. I just need to get the general vibe. Okay. Some names. Yeah, I need some players in my queue of players for you. What are you doing here?
Xavier Worthy goes. That would have been a nice pick.
Yeah.
I don't hate taking Ted McMillan here. James Cook. George Pickens. Do you have
Ted's good. I hate bringing him up this far. He's like 6 or so picks ahead of ADP, but
we could go like Jaden Daniels if you prefer, or somebody else.
Jaden, sure. Let's do Jaden and see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull him up. So I'm just going to go to wide receivers. I'm going to get him on the screen.
Okay, I might be able to.
Okay, he's on the screen right now. Player that I have 42% of.
Player that you have 42% of. Let's see here. Oh wait, is it Keenan Allen?
It is not Keenan Allen. Here, I better get the draft screen back though.
Yeah, you can head back because I know we talked Keenan the last time I was here, and I knew you had some of him.
I did have some of Keenan. And no, here I'll add this. Heavily influenced by the sidekick.
Okay, so that was my next guess would have been. I'll wait till we make our pick here first.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure how much you were using the sidekick.
Oh yeah, I'm using it a lot. George Pickens, Kenneth Walker, I like quite a bit. Also, those are some names that I like here. Any that you stand out to you?
I'll go Pickens here. He seems really good at football. The thing is, like, all of Pickens' efficiency numbers, all of his like nerdy metrics, and just generally production have said that he's really good despite him being in a bad situation. I get that he's not going to have these monster target shares as his team's number 2, but given his talent and given the setup of the Cowboys, which is very clearly like I don't know. We're probably going to suck at running the football again this year. Like they look like a team's probably going to be forced to pass a lot. I don't know. Pickens is good, and it's a great spot to be the number 2 receiver. It's maybe I guess one of the best spots in the NFL to be the number 2 receiver. Like it's just the discount T Higgins type situation. I think it's too discount.
Yeah. No, I'm
all right. Pull up the wide receivers again.
very much with you. Oh yeah. Good call.
It was like it's probably one of the rookies. I'd go Jalen Noel.
Nailed it. You got it. It's Jalen Noel.
That was my instinct, but then I remembered the Keenan Allen conversation, so I went with the wrong answer. All right. Noel's
Somebody else brought up Pop Douglas, which is also a good guess. I have 22% Pop Douglas, 42% Jalen Noel. You just don't really see Pop Douglas fall quite as often as you see Jalen Noel. I mean, 197 is just a nice ADP for his range of outcomes, I think. For Jalen
I drafted a good amount of Noel. I like it. He was a good prospect. Both he and Higgins obviously were.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I wanted to have the Jaden Higgins conversation. So let's talk about that. He's going at like pick 108. I really like Jaden Higgins. So for a while I was kind of torn because I felt really good about Trey Harris and Jaden Higgins. And now with the holdout situation and just like the fact that part of the reason for the holdout situation is that Jaden Higgins got guaranteed money, I'm just like more and more just leaning into taking Jaden Higgins constantly. Where are you at on Jaden Higgins? Do you believe in the talent, the situation? Do you like the pick, or am I overconfident there?
Yeah, I've been taking a lot of Higgins, and it's weird. We've gotten a really steady drumbeat. It's early off-season stuff. I mean, it's not too early anymore, but it's before training camp, so we're not getting the most like pure of reps. Like truly, once we get into training camp, I start feeling like we're getting a better idea of who are going to be the starters, who are going to be the backups, who are the clear handcuff targets, stuff like that. So far, we don't have that much data on how these guys are practicing and who they're practicing with, but every single beat reporter, guys from The Athletic, guys from ESPN are all saying Higgins is already clearly a starting wide receiver, probably almost certainly a starting wide receiver, even in 2 receiver sets. And he's a rookie with a really high upside profile. Like the risk for him was that he's a contested catch guy who just like can't get on the field because he plays alongside a similar contested-ish or downfield kind of winner. And all the beats are saying like, no, he's going to be on the field. He's going to be out there. It's the perfect opportunity for a player to get his talent, the potential to shine through. Whereas like, I like a lot of guys who I probably think in some cases are more quote talented, whatever that means, than Jaden Higgins. But you have to acknowledge that a lot of them just won't get the opportunity or in the immediate opportunity. So many of these rookies are like, man, I hope we get 3 good games late in the season. Like,
right.
If Higgins is good, he could just start giving you those games right away. It's a really strong bet for both early and late season production. So I've been clicking a ton of him in part because I think I'm relatively confident that his ADP is going to go up. Like 2nd round rookie who is starting right out of the gates, it feels like a recipe for a guy who should not be going in the triple digits.
I was looking at a draft profile for him just because I was like, am I getting out ahead of my skis? Just like really loving clicking this guy every time. Who would you guess is the comp that I read for Jaden Higgins?
Oh, it would be Nico Collins. Everyone comped Nico.
Nico Collins. It was Nico Collins, which I'm like, yeah, going to the same team as Nico Collins, same like body type, everything is just like, yeah, I'll take Nico Collins. And I mean, obviously can't really expect him to immediately be Nico Collins in the NFL, but feels good. RJ Harvey is available for us here at pick 69. Feels pretty good. Juwan Jennings,
Harvey past ADP, top of the sidekick. Like again, not doing anything fancy here, doing what the sidekick says, doing almost what top of ADP says, but like,
oh, Debo Samuel's also there.
Thing.
We did take
I'll try and push Debo around. I'm going to push Debo around.
Yes.
Like his stuff just fell. It was the worst year of his career, or worst year at least in like 3 or 4 years. Maybe I think it was the worst year of his career in terms of like yards per route run, yards per game, 2nd or worst in terms of rush yards per game, poor rush yards per attempt. Like all of both the counting stats and the efficiency stuff were major red flags. The team then moves on from him and takes a massive dead cap hit to do so. And he's probably like 30, I think, if I remember correctly, 29, something like that. Like These are the big, like declining, it's about to be over red flags. But that is all prefacing the fact that we have Jaden Daniels. We have made a bet on this offense. I don't want to overly prescribe my feelings on this wide receiver, given that we've already made a bet on the offense. So had we not had Jaden Daniels, I would not, I'd be very confidently making this case. Less so now. Like kind of have to at least have some exposure to the passing game, given we have the quarterback.
So that's essentially the way I've been playing Debo. Is I don't click him a lot, except for when I have Jaden Daniels. I click him consistently. Like it's exactly where I'm at with Debo. And if I have Terry McLaurin with Jaden Daniels, then I often won't click Debo as well because I'm like, I've already got my stack. It's a weird conundrum there. All right, he
Nice.
does make
I
it
mean,
back.
yeah, this is like the perfect spot too. Like, especially like I'm pretty confident. Like Debo is the high level bad kind of bet to make. Old player, changing teams, coming off of a career low year. Like that is the recipe for a downfall. But you get a player past ADP stacked. Like that is a windmill pick. And frankly, it might have been a windmill pick. It might have been a windmill pick at our 6th round like selection. Maybe that ultimately was the correct move to not try and push it. And
I mean, the
stack
sidekick wasn't suggesting him even
okay,
there.
nice.
The sidekick,
I actually like that then.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's how I want to be able to get exposure to everyone, because for most picks, maybe not everyone, but for almost all picks, there's some scenario in which they are adding something to your roster. Like like I said, I don't like Debo, but in this scenario, you cannot find a better player to pick at whatever 74 this was.
Yeah, exactly. RGC says, how much will you Venmo me to not take Debo? Yeah, and then he realized that he didn't have any leverage because I didn't see the message until after the draft pick, so just gave it up. But you owed some karma back after D. Lutomsky let you have Devonta Smith, so you just you got your karma back to level. That's what you get. That's what you get instead of Venmo. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 1. Love it. Nice balance build here. Saquon, Bowers, T. Higgins, Jaden Daniels, George Pickens, RJ Harvey, and Debo Samuel is the team. So we're stacked up with the game stack with George Pickens as the bring back in week 17 for our commander stack. Beautiful team.
Yeah, this team just goes. I like this team a lot.
A lot of week 12 with Jaden Daniels, RJ Harvey.
Okay, keep that in mind, yeah.
Debo Samuel. I guess just those three. Not a huge, and they're all different positions, so not a huge concern.
Debo also, like, I don't like to admit it, but he is the perfect fit for a Cliff Kingsbury offense. Like last year, Jaden was an awesome deep ball passer in college, awesome deep ball passer in the NFL, and he was not a prolific usage deep ball passer last year. This team attempted the 5th most screens in the NFL, and they were like 22nd in the yards per pass attempt on said screens. They really loved throwing screens, and they really weren't that good at it. Like they were continuing to square hole round peg their situation of like, we just got to keep checking it down to all these losers. Like maybe Debo is washed, but if he's not, it's a perfect glove fit for what he brings to an NFL team if he still got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it you who gave me the stat? I almost feel like it was about
Rich. I already know what you're gonna say. Go for
about touchdown passes that were to the end zone as opposed to they caught before the end zone. It was Rich.
It was Rich. It was Rich on our show together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I forget what the exact.
It was something like they threw 3 touchdown passes where the receiver walked into the end zone. I don't know if 3 is the right number, but it was
sounds right.
Like a comically dumb low number. I don't have like a good point of reference for what the average number is. I was like, that's not average. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Because as in saying there was not on all their touchdown throws, there was extremely little yak. Guys weren't catching it and then making dynamic plays to find their way in the end zone.
Right.
Only way they got in the end zone is Jaden threw a dart into the end zone.
Yeah. Which like feels right. Like that's like in my mind when I can't think of a single Commander's touchdown that I watched where somebody ran into the end zone. It was like Terry McLaurin, long bomb, catches it at the back corner of the end zone, like
the Hail Mary, like the iconic, I think Bears Hail Mary, obviously into the end zone.
And like to like an offensive lineman, I feel like there was one where it was just like a trick play and he runs and throws it. Yeah. Good to see W for Omega caught a live stream because now we've got the badges for being members to the Flaniverse. W for Omega has been on long enough to actually get the flannel there, get the flannel badge. I think he's one of the first commenters to have that there. All right, this is us. So Higgins is available here, as is Emeka Egbuka, Darnell Mooney.
I'd probably go Emeka here. We could go, I think that's kind of my clear pick right here.
Yeah. I sometimes go Jaden Higgins over Emeka Egbuka, but I probably shouldn't do it as much as I do. So
I think the ADP gap on DraftKings is like 9 or so picks. And at that point, I'm like, I don't want to sacrifice Emeka teams to get more Jaden when I think they're both great picks. Like I don't need to be flipping like 30 to 15% when I can just go 20-20 on both. Because Emeka is, I think is by far my highest drafted player, but Jaden's not far behind, like one of my higher drafted players too.
I think I've been drafting Jaden a lot more recently, so I don't think he's caught up as being one of my highest exposed. But like recently, I'm just like, I just want to click that every single time. But actually, I just did recorded a video about one of my drafts, and this is actually exactly what happened. And I did go with Emeka Egbuka before Jaden Higgins. So yeah, I guess I still do kind of follow the same logic that you do as far as that goes. Try to get them both.
The sidekick would want us to take Michael Pittman. Pass on that. Have to run that up the. I'll DM Corain.
Talk to Corain. Yeah. Oh, the sidekicks want Jalen Warren. That's shocking.
Yeah, right.
Never seen that before.
Where
Baker
Baker
Mayfield, a
May
little bit of a
I do
fall
not
too.
draft any Baker. He might be my lowest drafted quarterback.
On
But
it now
another
that we have
spot, I'd
Jaden
say
Daniels too. Yeah.
another spot where like, and we have Jaden, but like we have Emeka. He is 18 picks past ADP.
Yeah. At this point,
Like maybe I was gonna say if we were ever going to draft, if we draft him, if I was ever going to draft him, this is the type of spot it would be in. Outside of the fact that we do already have quarterback kind of taken care of, I kind of still think I go Baker here. What do you feel? We got 10 seconds.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think this is one where we just say screw it. Let's take the ADP value, get the unique combo that like the pairing that you and I are not going to have all that often because we don't take a lot of Baker. Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay. This will be the one spot, probably the one Baker Jaden Daniels team that I'll have because I'll never take them at ADP.
Yeah.
When I already have Jaden Daniels. So yeah, nice. I feel good about that. After these guys, let us have Jaden Higgins.
Yeah. Do you? Oh yeah, that's right. I guess we could have gone. We got our chance to take Higgins and didn't do it. But like I said, I think especially, I mean, at the end of the day, like these tournaments are so large, maybe it's like dumb to think about your portfolio a little bit. But in terms of like how do I want my season to play out? Do I want every single draft I have to bet on my favorite players? No, because like this game is hard to predict and random. Both I am going to be wrong sometimes for the wrong reasons. Players will just get hurt randomly, and I will be wrong because I'm stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
And when I'm wrong, I don't want to be punished so hard that I never took a player, even in spots where they were good for me. Obviously, I don't want to take, if we didn't have Emeka, I would never consider Baker there. Even what he would have been 18 picks past ADP just doesn't serve a role in this team. But when he does fit that combo of like past ADP, serves a role in this team, and I don't have a lot of him, like I want to be humble enough to get him in spots where when he's like, even though I don't think he's a great pick, he is in this spot.
Yeah, that exactly. I think if you were not here, I would have had the exact same thought process where it's like, man, I really want to click Jaden Higgins here, but like it makes too much sense when he's falling 18 picks past ADP. We're just kind of getting a unique combo there. Like within our own exposures too. So not necessarily unique for the way other people are drafting. Because I'm sure some people would take him at 76 here on this team. But yeah, for us, like just not going to have much exposure to this combo. So yeah, just and like all of those factors coming. If any one of them was not there, if he was not past ADP by 18 picks, if we didn't have Emeka Egbuka, then I'm not taking it. But with both of those there, so yeah, I think it feels good. Or if I had a lot of him, maybe even. Yeah, all things considered, felt like a good pick for this team. Dallas Goedert, somebody that I draft a lot of, and you can see it's probably partially inspired by the sidekick. But a lot of people do not seem that high on Dallas Goedert, and it kind of surprises me how much people do not like him.
I mean, like, he's good. I'm just pretty sure he's good. Like, every year, he's one of the best in the NFL in terms of yards after the catch production, generally good yards and targets per route run player. I think he's like the classic archetype of if he was in a different situation where they passed the football more, probably would end up being a pretty good, maybe not great, like certainly not great, but he would be a really strong fantasy asset. But he has understandably been parked in a situation that doesn't produce a ton of fantasy points. And this seems like a reasonable spot to take him. Yeah, I don't really think there's anyone else here. I mean,
unless you like Charbonnet or I don't know. There's not a lot that I love.
Yeah, I know. You kind of have this dead zone of
this would be a Christian Kirk pick for me if you were not here, but I think you don't like Christian Kirk.
No, go ahead and pick Christian Kirk. I'm fine with that.
Because we don't have Higgins too, so it's like maybe make a bet on more slot usage for Christian Kirk. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Christian Kirk's ADP was not that like great to pick here anyways, but in my mind, I think Goddard's in the 130s or something is like around ahead of ADP. I'm like, we can push him around, try and like get him closer to where he goes.
I mean, you can often get him at 141. So I'm like, just not necessary to take him there. Yeah. So it's
wow, Drake May popping up in the sidekick. I can't believe that.
Yeah, man, these guys.
Crane's playing the hits.
Yeah, exactly. Charbonnet goes.
Yeah, ironically, I love Drake May, and this is a spot where sidekick is kind of disagrees, but I don't think we need to take Drake May here. It's the inverse. I love taking Drake May. Just take him all the time, but we've already spent what we have. I will take the other top players. I don't have a strong preference between Tootin and Goddard. I guess probably Goddard, but
Yeah, I'm going Goddard because Rich made me terrified. That Bashal Tutin, by the way, is my second highest exposed player, and Rich was
He's
just
up.
saying that he thinks we're getting way ahead of our skis on Bashal Tutin. People are, assuming that he's going to have a lot of work, and he might not. The other players ahead of him are pretty good. They've got LaQuint Allen, who I just forget exists, is like could be a thing. So now I'm like, I have too much of this guy. So maybe I should cut back a little bit.
It would really suck if LaQuint Allen was the winner in this backfield because
Wouldn't it suck?
Yeah, like I spent so much of the offseason largely betting against Travis Etienne. Like his numbers have just sucked like back-to-back years. And it's the years in which they give him the most work where it's like he just doesn't look that good, both holding up in terms of physically holding up, but in terms of efficiency holding up. I just don't really see it with him. He's not kind of the pass catcher I thought he'd be coming out of college. I don't know. I just don't think he's that good. And I actually do think Bigsby is like good at a specific thing, but it's kind of like Ken Walkery between the tackles, banging, but getting some home runs. I don't know how versatile he is both as a runner, and I know for sure he's not versatile as a pass catcher. He's like the worst pass catcher in the NFL. So he's just a limited player, and that leaves a lot of room for another running back to get in, contingent on Travis Etienne not being very good, which I don't think he is. But like that does not have to be Tutin. They have another guy in LaQuint Allen who that was a decent prospect, good pass catching prospect too.
Right.
He could beat out Tutin. It'd be surprising, but like crazy things happen all the time.
Yeah. Well, we also we saw Tutin go at 150 in the last draft. So like there's a good chance we could push him here. I mean, I guess the 2v2, like either one of them is pretty likely to make it back to us at 141 with Goddard and Tutin. I like Luther Burden quite a bit. He's another player that I draft all the time.
What a good click. Like I am sure. Congrats to whoever got him at pick at the 11 hole. I don't know what pick they are, but I am sure that this is the kind of bet we should be making in the like 130s, in the 140s, a top 40 drafted wide receiver with an admittedly totally boom bust profile. Like he had a lot of stuff that I don't even want to call it gimmicky, right? But it's stuff that was scheme, stuff that was primarily out of the slot where like, maybe this doesn't translate. Maybe the team that drafts him doesn't plan to use him this way. In the way that Keon Coleman, everyone was like, oh, he's clearly a big slot. The film guys were like, he's a big slot. The data guys were like, yeah, that makes sense. He is a big slot. And then Brandon Bean right after draft is like, we're playing him at X, buddy. This is our X wide receiver. And everyone's like, what are you doing? And it blew up in the faces. Obviously it did. Everyone knew that that's how it would go. And that just happens. Some teams just do not use players in ways that are conducive to them scoring. I think Burden is maybe more susceptible to that than anyone. But when he is used in the role that is conducive to him putting up explosive plays, to him racking up catches underneath, he is such a smash in the right circumstances. And we get to take him like I said, a top 40 pick in the like 130s, 140s on an offense that we are like borderline irrationally excited to draft players in. All the Bears sucked last year. Everyone just drafting them like that never happened, except Luther Burden, who in his own right kind of sucked last year too. But I mean, we're actually drafting him like he wasn't good last year, but also as if he wasn't an absolute, or we're drafting him like he was bad last year, but as if he wasn't a super monster, like a blue chip, this guy's going to be an easily a first round pick kind of guy 2 years ago when he had his best college season. So to me, it's like one of the best opportunities on the board, especially he goes like a little bit later on DraftKings than he does an underdog. And it's just such a free click.
I did not know that he was bad last year. So now I'm like, oh, maybe I need to watch.
Yeah, all of his numbers kind of took a hit. He got hurt early in the year. I think he like hurt his shoulder or something. I don't remember. Hurt his shoulder, rolled his ankle. He's like an all-time, like, why does he get up and just like grab his ribs every play or whatever?
Oh,
he played through.
Is it Jalen Waddle? Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. He is such a Jalen Waddle. But so he still dominated the offense in terms of like target share type of stuff, but his efficiency and his counting stats really dropped off.
All right. So Bashal Tutin might still be there for us.
Glad Rich isn't here because we're doing Bashal Tutin.
All right. Yeah. We're listening to the sidekick. All right, let's do it. Speaking of the sidekick, I just want to pull up this comment. Robert Griffin, the turd, says Corain is going to lose a lot of subscribers if New England. To be honest, I don't know that he will. If it would have that big of an impact, just because I kind of think it's like high level people, like high level players are using the sidekick, and I think generally those are players who have some experience with DFS or like other contests like this, and kind of get that it's like, yeah, they can't predict the future. So I'm not sure it would be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, if you're subbing to the sidekick, if every pick, like, if all of Corain stands, like, I know
Jalen Warren and
we're aligned on. I don't think he's that high on Warren right now.
Okay,
at least relative to he was so high on him last year. But like Burden, I know is a huge Corain stand.
Yep.
Breece Hall, I know is a huge Corain stand. Like I said, like Chat pointed out, absolutely. Patriots are a huge Crane stand. Maybe if all of them bond, every single one, he just goes 0 for 20 on his parlay of the guys he's high on. Sure. But like you said, I think mostly people who like watch this kind of content, especially people who pay for this kind of stuff, understand that this is just one slate. And like, you can be a long-term profitable player and just get absolutely rocked.
All right. Do we want a third quarterback? Bryce Young, Geno Smith are the suggestions. We do have Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I could do Geno and Brock. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah, we can do 3. I do like 3 quarterback builds in general. Yeah, I mean, it would probably have some impact. Like there are some people are going to be like, I did so poorly. Like, why I'm not going to use the product again.
Sure.
But yeah, it was a joke. He says, yeah, no, it's it's a good joke.
I know. I don't even mind like that it was a joke, and it's also
but it's still a good talking point.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't have brought it up if I didn't think it was like, this is interesting to talk about. It's just because it is like, it's a premium product. It's priced like a premium product. So like, I don't think you're getting I think the inverse is true though, where if the Patriots crush, a lot of the people who have been using it during the free promo period are going to do really well. And then they're gonna be like, I got to use this product again. so you can gain subscribers if it goes really well. But
ironically, if the Patriots crush, if a lot of Cranes takes crush, most of the Sidekick subscribers are probably still losing money in that tournaments are so top heavy. Like everyone, even if all of Cranes takes crushed, like the tournament, if everyone's like, let's just for DraftKings, since we're on here, the tournament is like 900,000 people. Crane could get every single take absolutely spot on, and he's still a dog to make money because it's really hard to make money when 20%, 30% of the prize pool is in the first 2 spots out of 900,000. So like, there's this weird push and pull of like, the great takes are really good for the subscribers who understand like, oh, the process behind this take was great. I didn't advance. I got third. And it just doesn't always work out in your favor. And they have sort of the opposite effect too, where like you can be really bad. And hopefully subscribers recognize that like if the process was good, the process behind, for instance, Drake May or whatever, like sometimes good process doesn't give you good results, even in the like micro player take, let alone the it's hard to win tournaments, macro type of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I taught green check mark what ADP stands for. When was that? Was that he's got the stochastic avatar. So I guess, did you come over from DFS to best ball? Was that all right? Another favorite of the Sidekick, Pop Douglas at the top here, Jack Besh, Wandale.
I'd easily go Besh here since we have Geno if we can get him to come around.
Jack Besh goes.
All right, I didn't want him. That's fine.
Me neither. I didn't even care. Dylan Sampson, we can have that conversation. But first, anybody particularly Kyle Pitts, Michael Wilson, Tyler Algier, did Pop go, or did he just he did not go. He could still go Pop.
I would go Algier. Sure. I'll go Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier, come on down. Thought it was a 4th running back.
I was going to say, we hadn't spent a lot of in terms of volume of picks on running back so far. And Algier, I think Algier's like weirdly priced where like I don't really get what the difference is between him and Zach Charbonnet. It's easy to pick on Charbonnet because he is probably the most expensive backup or close to it. Maybe I'm forgetting someone. Where like, and we do have 100% confirmation that if Ken Walker goes down, Charbonnet's getting all the work and he's a fantasy smash. Even if he's not like that great of a player, guys who get 20 touches in the game are really good fantasy assets. But I don't see why we don't believe that about Algier. I think he's one of the better bets to be that type of player.
I think the difference is people believe more in Bijan staying healthy than Kenneth Walker. I think that's like
it's probably like slightly accurate, right? Ken Walker always deals with these minor injuries, but man, if that's what is the difference, that's what driving the difference. People are so incredibly overconfident in their ability to pick injuries out. We can go Pop. No,
I'm just going to assume you want Pop here. I do like Jerome Ford better than most, I think, but let's just go Pop.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not as dying to get Pop as like Karain is because I think he's like super limited and it's not that exciting of a click. But like at this price, you don't need to have a crazy ceiling.
You're contradicting Sacriletus, who told me. I told him, I was like, "Oh, Pat forces you to take Pop every time," and he said, "No, it's actually me who convinced Pat that Pop is a great pick."
Oh, I have to go back and look at our.
I believe
that would make sense though, because I bet Pop was projecting for like a decent amount of points down the stretch last year. Because he's had like a 3% target or 24%. You get him in the 15th or 16th round. I'm honestly surprised Crane needed convinced on any like. It was like oh, did Crane, could we talk you off of Javon Baker a second year in a row or whatever? He's like, nope, he's part of the Patriots. So I'm surprised at the restraint of Crane to not be all in on Pop.
It's the sack's fault.
Yeah, he had sack's fault, exactly.
Or Sack gets credit, depending on how it goes.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
One catch cost me over 200K in 2023. I can't tell you how many times I've had that happen to me. Maybe not 200K in all of them, but like, yeah, been there.
What's the worst one? What's the worst? Like, this was the one play, not like, oh, I was a few plays away. I only need 3 home runs in my 8 home run parlay, and I would have really hit. Like, what was the one play away situation?
I mean, I have a million of them. Like one of them that like hurts the most in terms of dollars is there was a time that I needed like another one catch for 14 yards from Cooper Kupp, and I would have won 300K. Like I would have, would have been, but I'd already done that year, so it would have been the second time that I'd won the millie, splitting it with 3 other people. So that would have been cool. But that was like didn't even come that close. I think they did target him once, but it wasn't. I don't know. I think the biggest one that like it was actually like so close was there was on FanDuel once. I had a showdown contest where it was I guess Derrick Henry was on the Titans at the time playing against Josh Allen, and I had and like had the nuts. So like everything was done. Like we knew exactly who the top players were going to be. I had Josh Allen in the MVP spot. Somebody else, a different group of people, bigger group, had Derrick Henry in the MVP spot, and they just like went back and forth. And late, Derrick Henry scored a touchdown. The Bills get the ball back. They get the ball all the way back to, I think, the 1 yard line, maybe the 2 yard line, regardless. But it was so Josh Allen, if they score a touchdown, if it's a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, whatever, I am going to be in the top again for $90,000 in this one. And he rushes it off to the sideline and just gets pushed out of bounds right before the end zone, doesn't get into the end zone. And I probably lost money on the day instead of winning $90,000. So that's one that stands out as one of my worst beats. But I have a million, like baseball, where I was like, I'm winning $100,000. I got Jake Cronenworth hit a home run. It was like the only player left that could knock me out of first place. Jake Cronenworth hits a home run, knocks me down from 100,000 to 25,000. Yeah, I've got a billion of those. I think I know yours has to be baseball MLB Millie Maker. Is that right? Is that your worst?
The only I was probably like a single or a double away. Who chased me down on that one? I don't remember who chased me down.
Whistles.
Yeah, it was Whistles. You're right. It was Whistles who. But the thing is, I was almost positive. Like he had 20 points and like all of the Yankees with 6 innings to go or something. Oh. So frankly, it was like incredible that he only beat me by 2 points. So I had done an okay job managing expectations there. How many running backs do we have? Just 4? Just 4. Just play the sidekick hits and go with Miles Sanders in a game that we already have a lot of pieces of.
True. Good point.
The one that I felt maybe I didn't feel the worst about, but up there was the Washington National Championship game. Every year, DraftKings just gives away tickets to different college football contests just to fill their flagships or whatever. And the flagship showdown national championship one is always uber soft because like the college football masses don't really play like the dupes game very much. Like you just get these massive trains of lineups and you just get such good ownership on like these 1 or 2% plays, which like probably should realistically be like 7, 8, something like that. And I had like a solo, I get so many of these uniques. All of them like suck, obviously, but like the EV is pretty good on your uniques, especially when like the really, like you can really get just a bunch of like.
It's just like NFL Showdown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like NFL Showdown, but I think people play it much closer to how they did in like 2021 or 2022. Yeah. They're not terrible, right? But it's more beatable. Yeah. And it was the Washington one. And I needed like a single first down at the end of the game from Washington. I think it was Penix at the time. What do we got here? All these picks suck.
Yeah.
I mean, Slayton's fine. Like he projects. Yeah, no, he's kind of like in that Pop Douglas. Like it's not fun, but he does project well, given he is dirt cheap.
Yep. All right. So
and like I think Penix had like, I think it was Penix at the time, had his tight end, like 1% owned tight end who already had like a 4 catch, 7, like 60-yard game, no touchdowns even, but just like that's the $1,000 player you needed. And he has his tight end. I'm like, just check it down, you idiot. Check it down. Throws a horrific pick. And then on the next drive, all the Michigan players are just scoring points left and right. Both the running backs, it's probably Corum and Donovan Edwards, are just blasting off. And I just needed him to complete a pass. He looked at the tight end. I think he threw it like way over his head to a different guy. But I was like, it's going to the tight. Oh no, it's going farther. It's going farther. and that would have solo shipped for maybe like 100K or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next drive, I'm just watching all these players not in my lineup just eviscerate me, just digging in.
That's painful. Yeah, I've been there for sure. I was trying to think, there was some super contrarian player in NFL last year who was like the tight end who was still last year. People are way better at Showdown now, but it was still a tight end who was like 2% owned or something like that. And just like, I think the ball went off his hands, like in the end zone, targeted, wide open, perfect pass, and just like drops it. And it was,
do you remember what team or who it was?
No, I don't remember who it was. I just remember being super frustrated at one point last year. I it's not even one that like necessarily cost me money. It wasn't like towards the end of the game where I was like, I'm going to ship everything if you win.
Sure.
I think it was early.
It just feels good to see that though. When you see your 1% loser almost do something, you're like, I was on the right track. Even if I picked a terrible captain or whatever, you're like, if I can get a 1% player who goes out and scores like 9 points, like a cheap 1% player or 5% player, I'm like, I saw something there. Maybe maybe it wasn't right in the long run, but like seeing these situations where you can get some amount of points for no amount of ownership, it's nice. And even if that wasn't the touchdown that would ship it, you'd feel good about your process seeing that one get in the end zone.
Yeah. As opposed to, I guess I just took the guy who can't catch, which was dumb, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenna says, cool. I remember Kyle on Stochastic NFL streams. He would make contrarian takes and they would hit. He was awesome. Yeah. I remember that too. I used to watch the Kyle and Gajeski streams.
Mm-hmm.
Probably before I was there.
I was there before you were, but like I said last time, I think we maybe had a little bit of like timing wise overlap. I don't know if we ever
had a little bit
on shows together, but
yeah, I think that's right. I think that we were like there at the same time, just never really did shows. Juice says I was in second for 300K, 2 entries on FanDuel. McBride at a 24-yard catch to bump him down to third place. Oh, he still finished with 80K though. So
I was going to say that's a pretty reasonable prize structure from FanDuel on that one. On DraftKings, if you're 300K to first or maybe second or whatever, you bump.
This stream is sponsored by DraftKings. Shh.
Yeah.
I think they all have like different contests that have better and worse.
Sure. Yeah.
Structures.
Also, like the top heavy structures are good for us in the long run.
If you've got the bankroll for it, it's great for us. Do you like Tyler Lockett? You like Amanor?
I draft so much AD Mitchell. So much this guy. That would be my pick here. I would just keep drafting AD Mitchell.
All right, let's do it. Let's go AD Mitchell. We are at 3,582. Jaden Daniels, Saquon Barkley, RJ Harvey, T. Higgins, George Pickens, Deebo Samuel, Brock Bowers, Emeka Egbuka, Baker Mayfield, Christian Kirk, Dallas Goedert, Bashal Tutin, Geno Smith, Tyler Algier, Pop Douglas, Miles Sanders, Darius Slayton, and AD Mitchell is the team. I'm liking it. I'm feeling good about this team. 2 picks left. We don't even need them. We'll take them. We'll take them anyway.
Yeah, we'll don't take them away. We'll take them, but we didn't need them. Yeah, I mean, we got I like how, like I said, I liked how our Jaden Daniels team worked out quite well in terms of like I've been drafting a ton of early elite quarterback, been more so getting these 3 quarterback builds. I like how that turned out. I'd probably be like Alec Iamaner here would be my pick.
Oh, I'm shocked. Where do you get your ideas?
That one's actually a me take that manifests in the sidekick. I was the one who got people to get higher on Iamaner.
I see. No,
so where's the sidekick get its ideas? You're
right. That's fair. That's funny. Yeah, I was drafting a ton of Iamaner in pre-draft stuff because he was pretty high in JJ's rankings, and I just like read through his rankings. Like, this guy like goes pretty late, and like nobody's drafted him, so I was super in on him. And then I think a pretty good landing spot in Tennessee, not like the ideal perfect landing spot, but like it's pretty open after Calvin Ridley, I think. Yeah, I mean that's maybe not all I need to see, but in terms of a 19th or 20th round pick, like, do I think you're really, really good? Well, probably not. Probably don't get many of that guys around this range. Or do I think even if I don't think you're great, do you have a path to routes? I mean, Jalen Noel actually think is really good. Like, I think he's a really talented player. His path to routes, though, is much more murky, which is kind of why he goes here. But he checks one of those 2 boxes where I think he's really good. At which point, in the 18th, 19th, 20th round, like,
easy click in those kinds of situations. So, and Iomaner, I think, is pretty good. He's actually had like a really strong analytics profile in terms of the early breakout, extremely good dominator stuff. And he played at a Power 5 school, I believe, comes out after just 3 years. And not great draft capital, but falls in a spot where if that talent is there, at least has the potential to manifest kind of early. Like, dude, Tyler Lockett is just total dust. Maybe he runs a bunch of routes still. Old guys run a bunch of routes all the time. But also old guys just get phased out as the season goes on if they're terrible. Like, that's just how it goes. So
yeah,
I like the Iomaner click a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that one. Just like, you're not going to see Tyler. I mean, I shouldn't say that, because we just saw it happen 2 years ago with Adam Thielen, where I was like, yeah, there's no chance this guy is the guy you need. Like, he's too dusty, whatever. He switched teams, and now it's like, could happen, I guess, with Tyler Lockett just on volume, but I doubt it. I'm not expecting it. Pretty unlikely. Whereas I was like, could just be really good. Like, could be like a young guy who just like emerges as an awesome pick. So much more exciting at the very least. I don't do any of the Restrepo stuff.
No.
Yeah, because he's too slow.
He's a UDFA too. I'm not.
Is this true? Damian Lillard back to the Blazers? Is that like confirmed? I have not got the notification yet, I don't think. But that's good for him if it's true. I like Damian Lillard. And they love him there.
Blazers are they terrible? I assume they're terrible, right?
I think they traded like all of their good players.
Right? Yeah. Why would he go back? Like, I'm an extremely casual basketball fan. Why would they?
3 years, $42 million.
Isn't that also like literally no money because players are making $500 million?
I mean, yeah, they're making so much money now. Is he? I actually don't know. Yeah, here it is. Shams. Damian Lillard signed 3-year, $42 million deal. That seems like, is he gonna miss this next season? I guess I have not kept up on.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So yeah, maybe there's something going on there. Again, super casual basketball fan. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Blazers are like a total tank rebuild team.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that is the case. I think they traded away all their draft picks. I have not been following like Damian Lillard's injury stuff though, because I once I start doing like NBA best ball, that's when I'll start looking into that kind of stuff. Rashard Smith, I just saw today, not expected to be the RB2 according to some beat reporter. Like, he'd be surprised if he was the RB2 in Kansas City.
The context there though is that they were saying like, yeah, I still think we'll see like gimmicky stuff for him, wheel routes, some passing down kind of stuff. So it wasn't that like this guy's just not on the radar. It was just that like, yeah, the rookie who's played 1 year of real running back is just probably not the RB2 when we sign true running backs to be the RB2. So it's kind of just met my expectations. I'm tight end here. We only have two. Oh no, I guess we have two tight ends. We have Bowers, absolute monster.
Bowers and Goddard. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we don't really need it. Never mind. I was a little. What the hell? Let's just do another Rashard Smith.
Now that we're talking about him, yeah. Why not?
Oh, you know what? I would have changed my mind there and gone Raheem Mostert to keep padding on to our Raiders stuff. But like, this is way more fun. I enjoyed Rashard Smith much more. Yeah. I enjoyed that click much more.
Not exciting to click Raheem Mostert 2 years after he had 20 touchdowns. We're just like, he's dust. He's done. Care. Yeah. What's up, Steph? Let's see. He's getting paid. Oh yeah, that's a good point too. He's also getting paid. He's still getting paid from the Bucks also. Let's see. It's still expensive for his age. Coming off an ACL tear, he's out. Okay, so he is out all of next season. That's what I thought was the case. Interesting. Well, like the team just loves him. So maybe it's like they have the money. They want to like show some respect for the guy who was like the face of their franchise for a decade. I don't know how long he was there before Milwaukee. Interesting. Sign Lillard only to get another haul of picks in a trade.
That's if that's what they're doing, is like, we're just gonna sit, like, like we're just gonna sign him. Obviously, probably just have to wait because he's recovering from a catastrophic injury. Then we just trade him. Man, that would be such a boring way to live life.
Love this question from Jenna, because I don't think we get a ton of new best ball players watching these streams these days. But I can explain best ball. So she says, I have a question about DK best ball. The rules say DK will automatically play the highest scoring players, but the highest scoring player 1 week may not be the highest scoring the next week. So it's week by week. So it's week 1, whoever your highest scoring player is in each position. So quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. It'll be the highest scoring player that week. That is your score for that week. The following week, it's resets. So you get your scores for week 1. That's your team's point total at that point. Week 2, then you get whoever scores the most points within those positions in week 2. You add that on to your week 1 to get your full score at that point, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it moves on week to week. All right. Kyle, I know you need to get out of here. Let me just read off the team real quick before you head out. All right. So the team is Saquon Barkley, Brock Bowers, T. Higgins, Jaden Daniels, George Pickens, RJ Harvey, Deebo Samuel, Emeka Egbuka, Baker Mayfield, Christian Kirk, Dallas Goedert, Bashal Tutin, Geno Smith, Tyler Algier, Pop Douglas, Miles Sanders, Darius Slayton, A.D. Mitchell, Elic Ayaminor, and Brashard Smith. We got some fun rookies on there. We got a unique Baker Mayfield for us, some vets. I'm feeling really good about this team. How do you like it?
Yeah, this team came together really well. And like, I don't want every team I have to have all of the players I love. Like, it would be weird if every team worked out. We're like, oh, all the players I'm highest on also happen to be the best clicks at every pick. And then I just do that 150 times. Like,
right.
You should not be getting to like I love Drake May. Like, you should not be getting to 100% of him in terms of like, he will not always be the best click on the board. And so we have some picks that are not players I'm super high on in terms of my own personal exposures. And yet I think it's like fine to say in the ways that they work in this team, they really work. I like this team. Yeah,
we got a mix of players that I do really love with players that I don't take all that often.
Don't worry.
So it's a good mix. It's a fun team overall. I like it. All right, Kyle, where can people find you? What else do you have coming out that people can look out for? By the way, I'm going to do another draft. So if any of you want to stick around, I'll be doing one after Kyle leaves, but I want to hear where people can find you first.
I tweet out all my stuff. So just check me out on Twitter at Kyle Tweets Here. We just did a Best Ball Mania stream on the Roto World Football Show, especially if you're in chat, you're a little newer. Not me as much, but Pat and especially Denny and especially Pat are a little newer. And it's 3 of us at varying levels of best ball addiction screaming at each other about what the right picks are. So maybe not the best team. It's a pretty good team, honestly. Maybe not the best team I've ever seen. Pretty good team and a pretty good, intermediate level of best ball information.
Very nice. That sounds fun. Yeah, I'll check that out. Cool. Well, really appreciate you, Kyle. We'll have to do another one of these this summer if you could come back. That'd be great.
Yep.
Right on. Love it. All right.
See you around. Thanks, man.
Later. Yeah. Thanks for coming. All right. Like I said, I am going to do one more draft. I'm going to start in about 2 minutes. That's the wrong one. Hang on one sec. There we go. That looks better. I'm going to start in about 2 minutes. I'm going to run the DraftKings ad real quick while I take a bathroom break, and then I will be back in a minute and a half, 2 minutes to do another draft. So hopefully you will stick around and do that with me. All right, I'll be back. Football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. And right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second shot to win big. It's easy. Just draft your team once, no weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically start each week. Across the whole season, every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown will count toward your quest for a share of $15 million. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app now to draft your $20 Best Ball lineup and get a second ticket to play free for a share of $15 million. That's 2 chances to win big without ever setting your lineup again. Draft one, get one. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. And right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second shot to win big. It's easy. Just draft your team once, no weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically start each week. Across the whole season, every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown will count toward your quest for a share of $15 million. Download the DraftKings. All right, there we go. I figured I gotta get another video that I can play when I'm not during DraftKings Best Ball Week, so I'm not running an advertisement, just something I can throw up there when I go to the bathroom. Because that's like one of the biggest things that stopped me from these marathon streams is 2 hours in, I'm like, all right, I've been drinking a lot of water here. Probably got to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, don't want to just leave things blank, not have something up here. Nick asks, can you, all right, let me throw on some music. Now that I'm on my own here, I'll answer some of these questions and get into a draft. In fact, I'll go enter one right now, and then we can talk as it takes a couple minutes to fill. Get into the $20 Millie Maker contest if you feel like joining. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Stephanie Miller, part of the legendary Upside Cabal, wants Drake May every time. I am JJ McCarthy over Drake May, but also not like super that. I'm mostly depends on what I have on my team. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of these marathons this week. Can you explain the King of the Desert? If you win the tourney, then there's another mini tournament of 150 seats. Is that correct? So I'm not sure if I'm not playing the King of the Desert. I believe that it's one of those where like you have to advance multiple rounds. So like you have to win your first tournament. That'll get you a ticket to like, I don't know if there's 100 people in it, whatever, but then you have to be like in the top half in the next round. And then if you win that, then you get into the final. But I'm sort of talking without knowing because I'm not playing the King of the Hill, actually, King of the Desert. I don't know much about it, but I believe that's how the tournaments have been in the past, where you have to like win to progress to the following round, and so on and so on. Didn't even get a full second loop. Yeah, yeah. Good. I was like, should I wait it out? Let it go the full second round. Yeah, exactly. I'm getting old. You got to go to the bathroom sometimes. A little bit of a video would help. Okay, Shady knows. Let's see. It says it's a satellite to a DFS tournament, not another best ball contest. Rabona, I did not play on that platform last year much. I might chase some promos. We'll see. It's also like you have limited time, so I just play like my favorite sites first. So I'll be maxing out this Millie. We got Shady Advice in here, so I'm going to be playing against the computer in the 11 hole. Good that I'm on the opposite side of the board, but I think playing with Shady Advice probably means I'm not going to get all of my usual players that are influenced by the sidekick, because he's just going to take a lot of them at 111. So that's it's good to mix up the exposure a little bit. Shady's in here. We got I Am the Kai in here. AK Jeff seems kind of familiar. We got a couple of stochastic avatars there. I probably know them. I think Mango was in the last one. Is one of you Mango? Anybody in chat? Sir Eddie, I think I might know from Twitter, but I'm not sure if it's the same guy I'm thinking of. All right, we're on the clock. We're going Jamar Chase. Cool to get the 101. Rare. There he is, the robot. What's up, Tim? Good to see you. Anything but the process music, please. It's the same note over and over. What's the process music? Is that the stuff I'm playing right now? I love this. This is my jam. You don't like this? Or are you thinking about something? Are you talking about something else? Yeah, somebody is absolutely taking Miles Sanders with both me and Shady in here. Yeah, Steph says I should have jumped in too to see how the Sims look with all of us. Yeah, it would be interesting to just see a full-on sidekick versus sidekick. I would guess that we're not going to see a ton of the same players at the top, because like if you're using the Sims, I would guess you diverge pretty significantly. And Shady can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, obviously, some of the players, like if leg up is just higher on them than the field, like Miles Sanders, for example, like the range of outcomes I think is just shifted better than other places would have it. So probably one of us is definitely going to take him ahead of ADP at some point, I would guess. But because I have I would guess that different players teams will better in the Sims. So I don't think it would be that different of a draft experience. Other than Jalen probably go earlier. Shady, that computer better tell you to take Worthy in the 3rd round. Yeah, I guess I have not noticed where leg up moved Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, etc. I'll have to pay attention. Probably because they get taken before they show up on my sidekick, like towards the top. So Ja'Marr Chase, I think, is still the pretty clear 101. I know we talk about like we haven't had the same 101 back-to-back years in forever, but like even if he's going to be, the 4th highest scoring player, even if he's the 4th highest scoring receiver, I think he's just the best bet to be one of the top receivers. Great offensive environment with Joe Burrow throwing him the ball. They're going to throw the ball quite a bit. They have a bad defense. We talked about this earlier, but just things line up for Ja'Marr Chase to be great. Whereas Justin Jefferson, I love it. I'm betting a ton on the Vikings. I'm taking a ton of JJ to JJ. But at the end of the day, we have not actually seen JJ McCarthy in the NFL. We don't know what his level is going to be, how well he's going to do in the NFL. And I just want that safety in the 1st round that Ja'Marr Chase provides. None of this is a hot take, obviously. We saw Josh Allen go up to 1-9 here. That is there's a hot take from exit 9 there. Exit 9 in the 9 hole with Josh Allen. Everything else looking very normal. The top 6 is the kind of the tier break where you always see those two. Actually, wait, Jahmyr Gibbs went 7. Oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Never mind. I take it back. Amon-Ra St. Brown went at the 105. So this is a pretty unique draft so far. All right, exit. Take somebody reasonable. I'm begging you. We got the Week 17 game stack with Puka Nacua and Drake London in the 10 hole. No other game stacks going on. Shady goes Neighbors and BTJ. Okay. All right, AJ Brown at 16. All right, somebody take Rashee Rice. Somebody did in the last draft in the 2nd round. I'd be, if Rashee Rice came back to me in the 4th, 5th round, I think I'd be very happy to get him there still. All right, Bowers goes. That was the dream. It was Brock Bowers come back to me at the turn. I'll live though. It's a very unique combo. I should have got my stuff up ready so I could talk about the combos before these streams. I wasn't sure if I was going to be drafting one by myself here, so that would be something useful to have when drafting by myself, to have those combos available so I can quickly look up who would be the player to take here that's going to be unique with Ja'Marr Chase. Definitely not Trey McBride. I know that much. I still like Trey McBride. It's still the Week 17 game stack, but from a combinatorial perspective, that is one of the more common combos. If I go Trey McBride and T. Higgins, my guess is that is the highest owned combo triple. I'm not positive about that. Maybe Chase Brown is in there. Garrett Braggers. I did kind of like what somebody did in, I think it was the last draft, where they brought up Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. I thought that was kind of a fun, interesting way to build it. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to not go Sidekick Optimal here. I'm going to go Devontae Adams just to get something a little bit more unique. And then I'll start going Sidekick Optimal later on, but I think just for now, it's do something a little fun. I'm going to go Marvin Harrison. I'm just not a huge Marvin Harrison believer. I'm going to go almost psychic. I'm just going Josh Jacobs here instead of, or I went Devontae Adams instead of T. Higgins. Who knows? Maybe if I had taken Josh Jacobs first, Devontae Adams would have risen to the top. You never know. Only Shady knows, and even Shady doesn't actually know. I watched Best Ball After Dark with Shady Advice and Pete Overzet, and it was pretty fascinating listening to Shady talking about how it's like, yeah, we don't like tell it how to do everything. It figures out a lot of it itself, so it doesn't necessarily know why some of the decisions are being made, why somebody will flip-flop somebody else in those situations. We can only speculate. That's fascinating. Oh, he said, okay, it's the tune Josh left running during the process. I see. Now all you will hear is that some triplet over and over. My bad. Okay, I'll have to. I can't I've got music playing, so I can't like envision it right now. If I didn't have music going, maybe I'd be able to hear what Josh plays in his process. I've watched it a bit. All right, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs. We got that. They used to be teammates. Wait, were they ever? They must have been. On the Raiders, they were teammates. Right? Last year? Yeah, for sure. No, Jacobs was on Green Bay last year. Did they ever overlap in Green Bay or Los Angeles? No, I'm got my timeline all mixed up. Oh, Rashee Rice went. Let's see. All right, Rice goes at pick 26. Would have liked it if he had gone at 23 instead, and I could have gotten McBride, but it's all right. Anything else weird going on here? Not really. Yeah, this has been mostly a standard draft other than Josh Allen at the 109, Amon-Ra at the 105. Gets Puka to the 110, so that's kind of fun. Sir Eddie building out a full game stack, Rams and Falcons. Is this music too loud? I can't tell how loud it should be. I think it's a little bit. There we go. George Kittle at 36. All right, Shady gets JSN at 35. Nice little fall there. And Breece Hall at 37. I'm in a 555 slow draft where I had pick 41. Pretty sure, yeah, I'm 41, and Breece Hall came all the way to 40. I was hoping for either Breece Hall or Omarion Hampton on my team. I needed a running back, and they both went before my pick. I got Terry McLaurin at 41, which is like a nice value, but was not super thrilled with the way it was like so close to getting one of the running backs that I wanted. But it was a slow draft. All right, Omarion Hampton goes. Was kind of hoping that he would make it all the way back to 48 for me, but I knew that was unlikely. That was an interesting turn. At the next one, usually you can get Joe Burrow if you want him. I'll kind of see what's available. I'd consider it. Sometimes you do like the Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts double tap at 48, 49. Oh, they were on the Raiders 2 years ago. Jacobs and Devonta. Yeah, good call. Nasty start for the computer. Neighbors, BTJ, JSN, McLaurin. Yeah. Yeah, some nice ADP followers. I think Neighbors goes a little bit ahead of 11 typically. BTJ, I think this is right at ADP, but then both JSN and McLaurin a little bit past ADP. pretty much going according to ADP. Jaden Daniels goes naked. That's interesting. 3 running backs and then Jaden Daniels for X-Fiend. CMC, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Jaden Daniels. Gonna rack up a lot of rushing yards on that team. This is like, I like this side of the board because there's a million picks that I really like right here. Kenneth Walker, I think one of the best running back values on the board. Really happy to get him if he goes to 48, 49. Ted McMillan, I actually like quite a bit. I think he's going to rack up a lot of PPR points this year. I was hoping that Xavier Worthy was going to make it back to me. Admittedly, that would have been the dream. But now I can go Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith. That's pretty standard, not that exciting. But I think it's just a good combo to get. Now let's see. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts first and see if the sidekick then moves Devonta Smith to the top over George Pickens. Doesn't always happen. Didn't happen here. Ooh, Chuba Hubbard. I think this is one where I just need the stack. It's just how I operate. Sometimes I'll just do what the sidekick says, but here I'm just going to follow my heart and get the full stack. Jalen Hurts with Devonta Smith. I've got Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, and Josh Jacobs. He was third down the board too. Not like I was reaching, going way off the board. I know that Shady, I believe he said this on After Dark, that he clicks the top sidekick option every single time. Or maybe that's wrong, because he also sometimes will play the room and not do it because he wants to. He believes he can get somebody to fall to him with the next one. So maybe not quite. Rabona says he'll go Debo next. I don't know. It didn't recommend Debo to me as my next pick after taking Jaden in that last one. Oh, you mean this one, not Shady. You mean the Devontae or the Jaden Daniels drafter? Yeah, he could probably get Debo at 65 though. I can't figure out what to make of Chuba Hubbard because I think he was really good last year. I think they're probably still going to run a lot. He's just not involved in the passing game, and that's what we talked about with JJ yesterday. Just running backs that are below like 1 yard per route run. I forget exactly the threshold, but I think it's running backs that are below 1 yard per route run one season, like almost never the following season improve to a high target share or something like that. JJ ran the stat yesterday, but like, yeah, if Chuba's not going to be involved in the passing game at all, they add Rico Dowdle to like specifically take on that role. I mean, Chuba was like, I shouldn't say he wasn't a zero in the passing game last year, but it's unlikely that his passing game involvement improves, or I think it's pretty unlikely that it even holds where it was after adding Rico Dowdle. So I don't know. I struggle. I drafted a ton of him early, but on a full PPR site, I do struggle to click Chuba with all the other options there. Because I'm hopeful that RJ Harvey can just be really involved in the passing game. Kenneth Walker, I think, just very talented, some involvement in the passing game. Davion Henderson, just kind of a big unknown. So I mix in some Chuba, but just not somebody I go to frequently. Ridley at 60 is pretty nice. Shady does get RJ Harvey, so now he's up to 4 receivers and James Conner, with RJ Harvey and James Conner there. 4 receivers, 2 running backs. Chuba, yeah, I was wondering. I was like, I feel like he actually was sort of involved in the passing game. So he was involved. He just was not super efficient with it. So I think the expectation is that his passing game involvement drops off a little bit this year, especially because they added Rico Dowdle. So maybe they brought him specifically because Chuba was not that great. Rico Dowdle can be the guy for those situations. So I think the expectation is that he loses a little bit of his work this year. But who knows? Team clearly loves him. He was really good last year, except for in the 1 week that I really needed him to advance in the eliminator. I shouldn't say that. I needed him every week. He just happened to falter in week 14 or 15 when I had a team late and like barely missed the cut. And Chuba, I think he played and just didn't do anything. Maybe he missed the game. Maybe I'm forgetting. Yeah, I think that this is exactly where I'm at. Billy says, I like the other guys around Chuba, but I don't want to fade him. I think he'll be a smash. They paid Chuba much more than Rico. Well, I think he's pretty clearly going to be the first and second down back. It's just a matter of like how much does he cede to Rico in the passing game, and is that enough to like knock him down? And then he obviously has all the concerns that any running back does after a heavy workload. Is he maybe a little bit more likely to get injured than usual? But yeah, I think he's a fine pick. I just where he goes on a full PPR site, it's tough for me to want to take him before Kenneth Walker. All right, Jawan Jennings is there. I'm trying to think if I have any other players I really want to go after here. There have been people on the stream recently making the case for Ricky Pearsall over Jawan Jennings. I can't do it. I can't do it just yet. I have to think about it more. Maybe I'll get there. Maybe they'll convince me to like move them at least back to back where I kind of flip a coin. But Godwin, all right, I'll follow the psychic on this one. Godwin is just he was so good when he played last year. And I think he's going to miss a little bit of time with his injury, but he probably comes back and has a big role again. I think it's the combination of the injury, maybe affecting him, keeping him out for a little bit. And then they added Emeka Egbuka. I'm a little bit concerned about Chris Godwin, but it's kind of reflected in his ADP too at 73. He was one of my favorite clicks on the board last year. Looked really good for a while. Looked like it was going to work out. That was one that I think a lot of ball knowers talked me into last year because he was moving back to the slot. He had so much success in the slot, and it really worked out until he got hurt. That was really unfortunate last year. Billy says, Chuba killed me in the fantasy playoffs last year. My opponent had him, and he outscored Saquon. Okay. Maybe that was the week after I got eliminated from the eliminator. He came back or something. Billy thinks Jennings will get paid, even if it's just a little more, it'll happen. You're probably right. Like, he was so good last year. Just keep him happy. It's always funny when a player like just signed an extension last year, and at the time, I think the general consensus was, wow, that's a lot of money for Jawan Jennings. Like, people kind of thought it was an overpay at the time, based on his Super Bowl performance. People thought they were overpaying him, and then he balled out last year. I don't know. It's a tough spot where you just got paid more than like the team bet on you. They believed in you. They paid you more than the market thought you were worth already. And now you're coming back and saying, no, give me more because I was that good. I don't know. It's tough. You could just accept, but I don't know. Yeah. I usually side with the players in these situations over the extremely, extremely wealthy owners, but they did just pay him a good amount of money. All right, what's this team doing? It's an interesting one for Exit 9. Josh Allen, AJ Brown, James Cook, who's got the Buffalo stack there. Mike Evans, Sam Laporta, Brendan Ayuk, Jaden Reed. So kind of a reach on Brendan Ayuk there. A little bit of a reach on Josh Allen. Otherwise, mostly, I guess, a slight reach on James Cook, but then takes the value on Mike Evans. Just going after their guys. Four receivers, 3 running backs now for Shady. What will Mango do? Kind of nice looking team there so far for Mango. Justin Fields with the Breece Hall stack. Is Jordan Addison falling now? Jordan Addison's still available here at pick 87. I just referred to him as a nice falling value. In a video that I recorded yesterday, I got him at pick 77. I was like, yeah, I think it's a great spot for Jordan Addison. He's fallen a little bit. I thought that the suspension was already baked into his ADP, and apparently that was wrong. And I had this conversation with somebody. I forget when it was, but that I thought it was probably partially baked in, which maybe is true, because it felt like everybody kind of knew it was coming. Like, I think Sharp Drafters had already baked it in, and he was going later than he should as a result. But then it was also like, but probably once the suspension actually comes down, once it's, there's more to it, he's going to move down even further, because some people are going to think, well, I can't draft him now. So maybe it was already baked in somewhat. But yeah, pick 87 for Jordan Addison to me feels really good. I think quarterbacks so far are mostly going like where you expect them to. No huge shocks there. Something you always need to be keeping an eye on in these DraftKings best ball drafts. They can run. They can run quickly. Fantasy Guru Drew. Sharp Drafters are Fantasy Guru Drew is very high on Hollywood Brown. I think we talked about that on a stream where he really liked Hollywood Brown. Me and D-Bro not quite as high on Hollywood Brown. I don't know if it was a stream or a text, but yeah, looking pretty good right now. Baker goes. I was kind of hoping to do Baker Egbuka at this next turn with Godwin there already. I do already have Jalen Hurts, so like I don't really care that much. They got Bucky Irving on their team. All right, get my guy Jordan Mason. Love to pick Jordan Mason. He is a target for me. I know he's not super involved in the passing game, but I just love what the Vikings are doing there. I love that they traded a draft pick for him when they didn't have a ton of draft picks. They keep saying they need help at the goal line, that Jordan Mason is the guy that is there to help at the goal line. They've improved the offensive line. He was awesome last year in explosive run rate. He was awesome in missed tackles forced per touch. So you combine all those things, the efficiency as a rusher, what the team is saying about him, the improved offensive line. I think it's going to be a good offense. Just everything lines up for Jordan Mason this year. I'll happily click him around pick 100. Billy says, I unsubbed a streamer because he was calling Jennings a scrub for asking for money and basically being a total owner backer. It was gross. Definitely not a scrub. He was really good last year. Like he probably deserves more. I mean, he definitely deserves more money than he was getting. It's a question of like, I always struggle with like, I would have trouble asking for more money immediately after I was paid more than what the market dictated I was paid. So it's kind of like they already gave him that like hometown, like, we like you, we're going to pay a little bit more. But I get it also. Like based on how he played last year, he's worth more money than they're giving him. Yeah, it's exactly right. Having Hurts is nice because one late round pocket quarterback is enough to back him up. I like my 2 quarterback, 2 tight end builds. Goddard is a great value. 100% with you. And yeah, I do think it's funny when people back owners. Like I'm never going to be like, I don't know. They have the money. They can pay him. Just pay him. If it takes just paying him a little bit more money to keep him happy, I think it's worth it to do it. Higgins goes. Interesting. So Shady starts with, or I should say the computer starts with 4 wide receivers: Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., JSN, Terry McLaurin, then goes 4 straight running backs with RJ Harvey, James Conner, Caleb Johnson, Tony Pollard. Nice mix of rookies and vets. Of course, Shady gets Cam Scatterbo. Classic sidekick move there. I have a lot of Cam Scatterbo. Feels like a pretty good pick. He also will fall quite a bit on DraftKings. So if Shady was not in this draft with me, if nobody was using the sidekick, I've gotten him at pick 120, which feels pretty good. But yeah, probably not going to happen with a sidekick drafter in the room with you. I am up to a 1-2-6-0 build. Got Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, Jawan Jennings, Chris Godwin, Jordan Mason, and Mika Egbuka. So I don't have a ton of backstacking outs here with my team. I can always take a quarterback and build onto it with a backstack. But with my current team, I shouldn't say backstack. I don't have stacks already built in because most of these quarterbacks, Baker's gone, Purdy's gone. Obviously, I have Hurts. Burrow's gone. I do have the Stafford out, obviously. But that's it, actually. So it'll be either I wait and take Stafford at the next turn or build out, take a quarterback, backstack it. Scott says he is drafting the 3-hole setup for a Week 17 Broncos-Chiefs shootout. Yeah, you got Worthy there, Mahomes, and Knicks. I see. Throw a Mims onto that team. Did Engram go? Engram went. Oh, you have Engram. Oh, nice. Yeah. Team looking good. And Pacheco. Yeah, full on game stack there. That's cool. You are roster bait. Great name. Oh, that's interesting. Shady adds on Dak Prescott at pick 110. So this is one where historically most of us would never take a totally, if we don't have Pickens or CeeDee Lamb, we're not taking Dak Prescott at 110. So this is where Shady's using the Sims and it's telling him this is a good enough value. You should just take Dak Prescott. He's going to score the most points for your team. It's more valuable than the existing correlations. I'm assuming that's what the reasoning is. Again, nobody knows except for the computer. I was hoping to get Tucker Kraft here secretly, but I've got some ideas. That was another one of my ideas. Drake May goes the pick before mine. Now I'm sad. You've made me sad. Maybe I just wait. Maybe just do Goddard here. Tyjae Spears. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I thought about going Jordan Love. If Kraft were there, I probably would have IK beat it and gone Kraft with Jordan Love. Thought about doing because I've got Josh Jacobs already. Thought about doing a later backstack with the Packers, maybe throw him Romeo Dobbs the next turn, something like that. But you did not get Marvin Mims to come back. It's all right. You might not want too much there. You've got a good thing going. Yeah, this is a good point from Drew also. Says home teams should be willing to pay more than market. The consistency of playbook knowledge and quarterback relationship and relationship with all the teammates, all of that. That is definitely true. Yes, Mr. Griffith says it's crazy how a player can go up and down ADPs in the year-long draft process. Hunter/Rice builds are going to go nuts for different players. That is true. That's kind of the fun of drafting throughout the year. I'm usually a proponent of saving a lot of drafts for later in the year because I think for myself at least, and I think for most people, we are going to draft better teams later in the year, just with more information. Usually, I think that's a bigger advantage than any like player combo thing. But when you start early in the year, I'm just gonna have a lot of teams that look really different from each other throughout the year, which is kind of fun in and of itself. You naturally kind of diversify your portfolio as your knowledge changes, your player takes change, etc., etc. How much do you want to bet that Shady takes Jake Ferguson at this next turn? I'm not willing to put any money on it because I don't know what the sidekick is going to do, but I bet he takes Jake Ferguson with one of his next couple picks. Unless Sir Eddie does not have a tight end, I guess. Not to blow up Shady's spot if Sir Eddie's watching. I don't know if he is. All right, what do we think? I'm guessing Jake Ferguson. Bet you $1. He didn't do it. Oh no. Okay. I owe some abstract person $1. Yeah, the Goddard, Devonta, Hurts play is worth it. Yeah, I feel good about that triple. See, I can't get into the mind of a computer. Is that a second unstat quarterback? He's got Darren Waller later. I'm sort of surprised at how early Jonnu Smith is still going in drafts. I thought he was going to drop more. I think he did for a while, but it feels like he's kind of moved back into a range that seems too early for me. Like 132 for Jonnu just feels a little bit too early. All right, I was wrong. Shady did not take Jake Ferguson with either of his picks. It goes Tua Tagovailoa and Ramondre Stevenson. In his Sims, Jake Ferguson gets hurt. No, I have no idea. I couldn't even speculate why they wouldn't tell him to take Jake Ferguson there. He does not have Hill or Waddle. Let me double check that. I don't think he has anybody. Yeah, Neighbors, BTJ, JSN, McLaurin. Yeah, I'm sort of surprised. But I'm trying to think like what the reason is. So both of these quarterbacks. So I'm just making stuff up here. To be clear, I don't know. These are sims. They're not. Nobody's putting in inputs. It's just simulating the contest. What's going to give you the most EV based on the team you already have? My guess would be because both Dak Prescott and Tua Tagovailoa, one of the things they have in common is their best receivers went really early to other teams. So even though he doesn't have them, they can score a lot of points with players that went really early, but can still be outscored by the players on Shady's team. So he has Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., JSN, Terry McLaurin. I mean, Dak Prescott can score a lot of points throwing, 300 yards and 3 touchdowns to some combo of CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Brevin Spanford. I don't know. This is why it'd be tough for him to score a lot of points where neither. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think, would it be possible? Like, what are the scenarios where the quarterbacks score a lot of points and none of the receivers that have already been taken exceed the receivers on Shady's team? Clearly, there are scenarios where that happens. I would have expected it to be one of the touchdowns is Jake Ferguson or something. They could rush touchdowns. Yeah, I'm just speculating as how this plays itself out in The Sims. My guess is that it has something to do with they can score a lot of points. Their receivers do well and just don't outscore with, these 4 that he took early. But who knows? Jake Ferguson finally goes at 143. I do have a stack here with Stafford. That's a easy click for me. Man, do I want Bretton Strange here? Oh no, I'm gonna take Drew's guy. Here, this one's for you. Fantasy Guru Drew. This one's for you. Hollywood Brown. Pick 145. I like that. I think that's a good spot for Hollywood Brown. Rashee Rice probably missed some time. I think he's a fine pick anyway. Here it is from the man himself. Sidekick loves naked Tua, just mispriced even with a bunch of extra concussion risk. Interesting. So it's just a matter of it's the points added to your team. Yeah. I guess that's the simpler explanation. Just he adds a lot of points to your team. Billy says, "Oh, Sidekick also loves Bretton Strange, just like me. I hate the IKB Neil." I mean, can't you usually get Bretton Strange a lot later though? That's part of it. Is like I might be able to get him at the next turn. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I off on where his ADP is? It's funny, yeah, ADP of 163. There's a chance he comes back to me. Although Shady doesn't have a tight end, and he's using the Sidekick, which loves Bretton Strange. But who knows? Maybe in these sims, somebody else does better for his team. I don't know. I'm probably not getting Bretton Strange back to me regardless. One of the first streams I did here was actually with Sacrilegious, and we did a hot take segment where we each gave 3 hot takes. And one of mine was that Bretton Strange would be like a top 8 tight end, something like that. But that was before the draft, before they drafted Travis Hunter, and now I've gotten scared off it a little bit. But I'm with you. I think he's a solid pick. I don't usually mind taking him. It's just way ahead of ADP, and Hollywood might be moving up in ADP, so figure this is a good spot to get him before he has actually moved up much at all. Yeah, but Bretton Strange, he was a 2nd round pick, was really good last year in games that Evan Ingram missed. Now they got rid of they didn't re-sign Evan Ingram, presumably because they have some confidence in Bretton Strange. I'm with you. I think he's a strong pick. But Hollywood felt pretty good on this team. Billy says they forced Evan Ingram to leave because Bretton Strange could do the same things equally. Did they force him or did they just sign elsewhere? I honestly don't know. I don't know exactly how it went down. But how do you force someone to leave? All right, see, Shady gets Zach Ertz and Hunter Henry. So Bretton Strange still alive and well. We are crossing our fingers. But also part of the reason I pushed him is because I can see the upside case for Bretton Strange. Still, I feel that way about so many tight ends. I have a tight end addiction, I think, because every year I'm like, oh man, that guy feels like a pretty good click. It's going to be Jatavian Sanders, Theo Johnson. They all feel like such good clicks to me where they're going. It's like they're going to have some involvement in the passing game. They are most of them are athletic freaks, so it just feels like they could take a big step forward. Similar to what Trey McBride did a couple years ago when I was completely off him, by the way. I had very, very little Trey McBride that year because he was behind Zach Ertz on the depth chart. But it always feels like, all right, this guy I could see this guy really breaking out. Bretton Strange goes, by the way. Actually, Bretton Strange and Dylan Sampson. Those are the 2 I was really hoping were going to make it back to me. But I feel the same way about so many of the tight ends that go much later, that if I don't if it were Jake Ferguson there, I feel like the floor is pretty high and the ceiling is really high for Jake Ferguson. Of course, they added George Pickens, so it's kind of a similar scenario where they added somebody maybe lowers the floor and ceiling combo a little bit, but he's shown it for more years. Bretton Strange is really good overall, but he also went through periods where he didn't do much, even with Evan Ingram out last year. So I don't know. It's just there's so many tight ends late that I feel okay about. Dylan Sampson feels like a type pick that I talked about with Rich earlier, where it's like I'm super into it right now. Just like I see the vision, like the floor ceiling combo, so amazing. And he might be one that 2 months into the season, I'm like, why did I keep taking that guy? Like, what was the point there? That's why we do so many drafts throughout the course of the season. Because right now it feels like you could just take hold of that and be the starting running back, and you're getting him so late. And there's also a really good chance that that is not the case. I don't dislike the Wandale click here. I also do think, and this is a case that JJ Zachariason, he made the case for Jerome Ford as a really strong click. I do really like the Jerome Ford click, just for I kind of think the floor ceiling combo, and this is also something JJ said. I think I agree with him that the floor ceiling combo might be better for Jerome Ford. So I'm going to IKB it off of, I'm going to let Shady have his Miles Sanders. You're welcome, Shady. You're going to get Miles Sanders. I'm just going to go ahead and draft Jerome Ford. I have so much Miles Sanders, and it's Shady's fault, and it's Zach's fault, and it's Pat's fault. Actually, that's not even true. I've been in on Miles Sanders since before he became the auto click here, since before I started using the sidekick this year, I think. So I cannot blame them entirely for my Miles Sanders addiction. It's just I was already really in on Miles Sanders. I thought, like, as is often the case in these ambiguous backfields, like I just want the guy who's much cheaper than the other two. But then they reinforced my bad behavior of drafting Miles Sanders constantly. Yeah, Juwan Johnson could be there later. Yeah, I agree. This is Ben Gretsch is making the point of Dylan Sampson. I'm glad he did, because I got in on some Dylan Sampson at the cheapest possible price tag. But yeah, he's always had some shot of just outperforming in camp and winning a bigger role than people are expecting. Yeah, I get this. Billy says they forced Jerome Ford to take less money, even though he was the only competent back last year. I like Ford, but the money and 2 draft RBs, I like Sampson for those reasons. I hear you. Like the ceiling is possibly higher on Sampson. Like I said, if Dylan Sampson had made it here, I am clicking Dylan Sampson before Jerome Ford, just to be clear. It's just they didn't spend a ton of draft capital on Dylan Sampson. So I think there is a world where, yeah, they drafted 2 running backs. One of them is suspended in the beginning part of the season, and the other one was just not very good. Like we don't really know what Dylan Sampson is in the NFL yet, whereas Jerome Ford is competent. So it's possible that they didn't spend any other money on running backs outside of Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson, and Quinshon Judkins. Well, one of them is suspended. The other one was a late round pick who, yeah, it's fun to bet on it. We think he might be talented, but he's a small back going to the NFL. You're kind of hit or miss with what happens there. And Jerome Ford is kind of established as, like, we know he can be pretty good in the NFL. Like not amazing, but like he has the big play upside. He has the passing game involvement. So like I just like those attributes for a late round running back when you've got the passing game involvement and the big play upside. And just like he might just have the backfield, have a lot of the backfield to himself again, just depending on how the rookies actually pan out. Yeah, Billy, we're on the same page. With the Quinshon stuff, Ford definitely has a better situation. Same as Sampson, they're both good. Yep. But yeah, I take Sampson first of the 2. Because he might just be a better running back. And then, of course, like I've said, at the end of the day, they are on the Browns, who might just not score a ton. But also, if they're not scoring a ton, I'd rather have the guy catching a lot of balls. And maybe Dylan Sampson is that guy too. We don't really know. Looking forward to finding out. Another draft where I did not get Bashal Tutin. He goes at 139 in this one. But yeah, I guess I was going away from running backs in his usual range. Happy to get Tyjae Spears at 121. That's a pretty nice click on DraftKings. Miles Sanders goes at 187. to Alaska Jeff. I don't know if that's what it stands for. AK Jeff. This might end up being a 2-quarterback build for me. We'll see. Jalen Noel could add to my ridiculous Jalen Noel exposure here. I'm pretty happy. Like he just goes too late, I think, for his range of outcomes, which is obviously why he's showing up at the top all the time here. But yeah, it makes sense to me. I did see some kind of bearish report on him like within the past week. There was something on Jalen Noel that was not awesome, but Dalton Schultz. That's the boring pick. I'm tempted to just go Jatavion Sanders, Theo Johnson, but no, I'll listen to the sidekick on this one. So I'm guessing I'm going to add a third tight end later, and I think they're more likely to make it back to me. I've been known to click Cade Stover in the final round, but I probably should look into his injury situation before I continue to click Cade Stover. I have the beautiful memory of Cade Stover with the long touchdown last year before he got hurt, and it was starting to feel like he was taking over more for Dalton Schultz, and then he got hurt. Yeah, Schultz a better ADP value. Yeah, Fannin is I remember when I listened to Pat Corain's episode of Becoming a Best Ball Bro with JJ Zachariason, and he brought up Fannin as like a dart throw in the 20th round. And it seems he's become even more bullish. So he already liked Harold Fannin at that point. Clearly, Pat and Sacrilegious have gotten to a point where they're more comfortable with like not just a dart throw, because he was being recommended to me here at the end of the 16th round. Actually, I think Schultz was actually ahead of him there, but clearly has moved up the rankings a little bit over time, which could also be because, Pat talked about him. The rest of the market moves him up, and suddenly you need to draft him earlier. Who knows? Market dynamics are kind of a funny thing in best ball. I think the leg up guys can move markets a bit. Yeah, Fannin is very cheap still. I mean, like 16 through 20 rounds. What's really the difference? It's not a ton. There's some, I think. But it's like slightly more confidence in players I'm taking in the 16th round than the 19th, 20th round. Could still throw in a Jackson Dart. Any other quarterbacks? I don't do a ton of Russell Wilson. That's interesting. He has a much higher ADP than Jackson Dart. I guess I didn't know that because I never click Russell Wilson, which is probably wrong. Probably should click him sometimes. Like he could just hold that job the entire season. But who do these guys just take? Oh, Shady goes with Shuck. Okay. And then Russell Wilson and Darius Slayton. The stack goes at the corner there. We do have an auto drafter now in Exit 9 has the little auto draft thing. He now has 4 quarterbacks. Oh no, never mind. That's already drafting those quarterbacks. Exit 9 goes Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Cam Ward. So just 3. Oh, I know I don't need a quarterback 3, but it is 20 rounds. Like I can kind of throw a little bit more upside onto the team with another potentially. Bannon goes. Lloyd goes. Oh, I do have another out here. That's an interesting option. So I was thinking about doing Theo Johnson and Jackson Dart. It was something I was contemplating. I could just stick with my 2 quarterbacks, kind of like Tyler Higbee, throwing him onto the stack with Stafford and Davante Adams. And then if I do that, could I do another running back? One of these fun, good. Taj Brooks, that is my running back of choice. So now my team, I'm up to a 2-5-9-3. Jamar Chase, Davante Adams, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, Jawan Jennings, Chris Godwin, Jordan Mason, Emeka Egbuka, Dallas Goedert, Tyjae Spears, Matthew Stafford, Hollywood Brown, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jerome Ford, Jalen Noel, Dalton Schultz, Tyler Higbee, and Taj Brooks is the team with 1 pick remaining. Guessing I'll do another running back. All right, where's Shady at? Shady goes Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., JSN, Terry McLaurin, RJ Harvey, James Conner, Caleb Johnson, Tony Pollard, Cam Scataway. He went 5 running backs in a row. Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry, Josh Palmer, Pat Bryant, Tyler Shuck, Pat Fryman. Is that not still no stacks there? That's interesting. So just like the points, I mean, it's all about points added. Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry, and Pat Fryermuth. We're getting some vets at tight end for Shady's team. Now he goes a four quarterback build. Prescott, Tua, Shuck, Jackson Dart. Oh, so he does have Jackson Dart stacked up with Neighbors. Oh, and then Theo Johnson goes to the Russell Wilson team. Shady says, lots of stacks, just not with their quarterbacks. Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's my terminology. Yeah, I'm sure his team is going to be very correlated throughout. I'm guessing there's some week 15 stacks in there, some week 16 stacks in there. I don't know all those memorized. I have week 17 memorized enough to like do the quiz and get 16 out of 16, but then sometimes forget. He's got McLaurin with Dak Prescott and Zach Ertz. He needs the ping pong because unstacked quarterbacks is my guess. Billy says needs the ping pong. Yeah, that's probably true. Like if one quarterback just crushes all those weeks, then probably there'll be other teams, at least by the final, that's like highly correlated getting there. I don't know. Deontay Johnson becoming a more popular pick. It's D-Bros guy. All right, I could do Ollie Gordon. I'm going to put him in the queue. Yeah, maybe I just do that. Could do like an Emmanuel Wilson, but I will trust the sidekick. I think Ollie Gordon is a palatable 20th round pick. All right. The final team: Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith. I say that wrong. Juwan Jennings, Chris Godwin, Jordan Mason, Emeka Egbuka, Dallas Goedert, Tyjae Spears, Matthew Stafford, Hollywood Brown, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jerome Ford, Jalen Noel, Dalton Schultz, Tyler Higbee, Taj Brooks, and Ollie Gordon. Nice little 2-6-9-3 team. I could read off if anybody wants me to take a look at their team. I'm happy to do so. I've looked at Shady's throughout, but I'll read it off one more time because it's interesting looking at what the sidekick is giving him. Maybe I IKB it more than I think I do because I don't think I've gone for quarterbacks yet. I feel like I'm frequently taking the top sidekick suggestion, but I have not gotten to that point yet. So Shady goes Malik Neighbors, BTJ, JSN, Terry McLaurin, RJ Harvey, James Conner, Caleb Johnson, Tony Pollard, Cam Scatteraboo, Dak Prescott, Tua Tagovailoa, Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry, Josh Palmer, Pat Bryant, Tyler Shuck, Pat Freiermuth, Jackson Dart, and Elijah Arroyo. He has a 4-6-6-4 build. It's also possible, now that I'm thinking about it, that I just didn't notice that I have some 4 quarterback teams because usually I'm using the sidekick in all my slow drafts, and then on streams I'm streaming with other people and we're going off board more. So I don't notice those as much. Jeff says, please look at AK Jeff. Are you Alaska Jeff? Let's take a look at it. All right, so AK Jeff, Bijan Robinson, Brock Bowers. That's a fun start. Garrett Wilson falls to 30. DJ Moore at 43. Zay Flowers, 54. DeAndre Swift, 67. Khalil Shakir, 78. Brian Robinson, 91. Caleb Williams, 102. David Njoku, 115. Trey Harris, 126. Bashal Tootin, 139. Geno Smith, Jalen McMillan, Mike Gesicki, Miles Sanders, Jarquez Hunter, Rashard Smith, Dontavian Wicks, and Cooper Rush. That's interesting. All right, so let's take a look. That is a 3-7-7-3. Caleb paired up with DJ Moore. Anybody from San Francisco for week 17? Again, I don't know the week 15 and 16 matchups, so I'm not going to see those correlations. Oh, and he's got DeAndre Swift also. Geno paired up with Brock Bowers. Looks like that's it. Any Giants on that one? Not seeing any Giants. He's got Zay Flowers in the Baltimore stack with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush and Zay Flowers. Dontavian Wicks bring back. Yeah, what's the thought process of Cooper Rush there? Just like nobody's going to have him. Maybe he's the player you need. That game could go off. What's the? That's an interesting. I have not drafted any Cooper Rush, but I think it's a fun. Again, 20th round. You're just making a bet. You've got Zay Flowers. I don't totally hate the dart throw there on Cooper Rush. He runs a little bit too, if I'm remembering right. So yeah, maybe Baltimore's locked up a playoff spot at that point. maybe Lamar gets hurt, something like that. You've got the stack built in. I think it's reasonable. Billy says of Shady's draft, he says, too many quarterbacks and tight ends for my personal preference, but since he started 8 straight wide receivers and running backs, late onesie lottery makes sense to me since he's solid at the main positions. Yeah, I'm guessing that's sort of what happened in the sidekick. It's just like you're super strong at these positions, fills in those for the most points, overlaid onto his team. Yeah, just a dart throw to Perrozet. That makes sense. Yeah, I think it's all of your full team. You have all of your quarterbacks stacked up. You've got a couple bringbacks in there. Again, I don't know the week 15 and 16 matchups, but like the draft capital looks appropriate. You don't take a wide receiver in the first couple rounds, then you throw on 3 in round 3 through 5, and then another in round 7. End up with 7 total. Looks like a good mix of rookies with upside and some vets in there. Little bit thin at quarterback, I think, but like you're just betting on Chicago's offense being good with Ben Johnson there, Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, and DJ Moore. So if Caleb Johnson, if they do just take that step forward, I think you're fine. And Geno Smith, I actually think, is a pretty good late round bet for Vegas also. So yeah, he might be fine at quarterback. Overall, yeah, I think a strong team. Nice to have the Bijan anchor. Roster bait has Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, Xavier Worthy, George Pickens, Patrick Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, Evan Ingram, Bo Nix, Tucker Kraft, Jordan Love, Javonte Williams, Quentin Johnston, Romeo Doubs, Rico Dowdle, Justice Hill, Diami Brown, Marshawn Lloyd, JT Sanders, and Deontay Johnson. A lot of players that I really like on this one. Haven't looked at the correlation. So Xavier Worthy falling to 46 feels pretty good. Like I'm guessing he's moving up in ADP. So to get him around where his ADP has always been seems pretty strong. I was hoping to get him on my team. Also get George Pickens. I think he's a really strong pick there. Tyreek Hill, a little bit of a faller. I love any Justin Jefferson team. You got Jonathan Taylor at 22 feels okay. Mahomes right at ADP with your Xavier Worthy. It's good. Add Isaiah Pacheco to the stack there. Oh, and this is the one that has the full-on KC Denver stack going on. So you've got Bo Nix with Evan Ingram and all of your Chiefs. Did you add on to that anymore? No. And I don't it's a full-on game stack. That's fun. And 2 like good quarterbacks, but you throw in another one with Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft. I like that. Dobbs add on to the stack right at ADP. That feels good. Marshawn Lloyd onto that stack. Didn't see if you did any Baltimore with the Green Bay. No, it doesn't look like any Baltimore with the Green Bay. Do the Vikings play the Packers in one of the playoff rounds? They seem like it's a good bet that they might. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's a 3-6-8-3, probably my most common construction. I think it's a really strong one. You've got a lot of correlation within the team. Looks like the draft capital was appropriate. You've got a good mix of vets early. Not a ton of... Do you have any rookies on this team? No. Not a single rookie on the team. That's interesting. I still think like it's a team that has a lot of upside despite not having any of those rookies. Just interesting to end up with, I think, really strong team without taking any of those rookie dart throw picks. But ultimately, I think it works out. I think it looks like a really good team. That's funny, Billy. All right. Oh, yeah. Green Bay stack with Justice Hill bring back. I missed that. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. All right. This was fun. That is going to do it for this stream. I don't think I'll be back on this channel until tomorrow night at 9 or 10 Eastern time. I'm going to be here with Debro, with Justin Steele, and with Fantasy Guru Drew. We're going to do another fun nighttime stream with the Flannel Pack. Do a couple, maybe 2 or 3 drafts with that group. Always fun. We usually draft against each other, which is different than with most of my guests, but I always enjoy drafting with and against those guys. Before you head out, please do like the video. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell to get alerts when I go live, to be reminded that we are on the stream tomorrow. I'll probably be streaming on Saturday and Sunday as well, and then also putting some other videos out on the channel. But appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. And you can also, by the way, join the Discord in the link below. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.